Hello everyone, good morning. আজি টেষ্ট টু 7 হ'ব লাগিছিলে মোৰ মিষ্টেক হৈ গ'ল 6 দি পালোঁ যোৱাকালি 6 আছিলে চ' এনিৱেজ গাইজ আকৌ এটা কুৱেশ্যন লৈ আহিছোঁ আজি বিশেষকৈ কাৰেণ্ট এফেয়াৰ্ছ টপিকছ বহুতকেইটা আছে যেনেকৈ এইটো মিছন চেনেজৰী এইটো ঠিক তেনেকৈ বহুত বেছি মানে হেল্পফুল হ'ব আপোনালোকক যদি প্ৰিপেয়াৰ কৰি আছে ভালদৰে. Okay, starting from the very first question, number 1. Consider the following statements regarding the implementation of sanitary mission sanitary in Assam. It is a cluster-based initiative covering the entire valuation from host plant ecology to global export. এইটো মানে কি কৈছে host plant ecology মানে এইটোতো মিছন sanitary মুগা হেৰিৰ কাৰণে ন মুগা শিল্পৰ কাৰণে. So entire valuation from host plant to host plant mane local jot bonai no ecology to global export to mane global mane export planning korise pani aison khale mane ta khobdha koribo. Okay, first statement to correct hoy it mandates the establishment of common facility centers to modernize silkworm rearing and reeling processes. মানে silkworm বিলাক to muga silkworm বিলাক মানে পালন কৰিবৰ কাৰণে and reeling process যিবিলাক বনায় ন silkworm reel কৰে মানে সূতা কাটে স্পানত এনেকৈ এইবিলাকৰ কাৰণে কমন মানে ফেচিলিটি চেণ্টাৰ মানে মডাৰ্নাইজ কৰিব বনাব আৰু অত্যাধুনিক কৰিব নতুন বনাব সেনেকৈ ডিজিটেল কিবা মানে ডিজিটেল নহয় মানে অলপ বনাব আৰু ন ভালকৈ. The mission implements digital traceability to mitigate the challenge of spurious silk adulteration. আৰু ডিজিটেল ট্ৰেছ কৰাৰ চিষ্টেম বনাব বোলে কিবা কয় কি কৈছিলে সেইটো ব্লকচেইন টেকন'লজি এপ্লাই কৰিব আৰু এডাল্টাৰেশ্যন মানে হেৰি কৰিবৰ কাৰণে চেলেঞ্জ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে মিটিগেট কৰিব কমাবৰ কাৰণে. Adulteration mane all duplicate kora, so all the statements are correct. D is the correct answer. Okay. Mission sanitary launched in June. Would mane all of it launch korise. 2026 is a comprehensive cluster-based program. It integrates host plants in regeneration, modern reeling infrastructure, CFC center no, corn facility center. And blockchain-based digital traceability, blockchain-based digital trace korbo pare no corporate code jai na to authenticate mane corporate code to no hoy mane to authenticate koribor karone no mane to muga original muga ane duplicate muga eneke silk eneke across the entire valuation protegeta circulation. Question number 2 with reference to the Blue Bond initiated by the Sagarmala Finance Corporation. Blue Bond. These bonds are designed to mobilize capital for ocean-based and sustainable maritime projects. Yeah, Blue Bond to no ocean-based no Hagar sustainable maritime project no. Okay. The initiative is intended to help the corporation address the structural mismatch between its short-term borrowings and long-term infrastructure lending. Yes, of course. যিবিলাক problem হৈ থাকে ন অলপ কি ক'ব তাক লেণ্ডিং কৰা লেণ্ডিং মানে টকা পইচা ধাৰ দিয়া কিবা দিয়া সেনেকৈ ধাৰ লোৱা ধাৰ দিয়া এইবিলাকৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত মানে হেৰি কৰিব আৰু মিছমেটছবিলাক দূৰ কৰিব মানে অমিল বস্তুবিলাক মিলাব আৰু correct hobo eta the scope of projects eligible for funding is limited exclusively to port infrastructure. Eta exclusively word ta ase no ei karone apnaloke direct to kati dibo pare mane port infrastructure te himitu rakhibo boli koise etu no hoy port infrastructure matter no hobo no aru belek talo jabotio kisman thakibo kiba eta judo financial eta corporation or kiba eta heri hoy initiative hoy no bahut kiba ki olop ifali to lagiboi olop solop na. So 3 is not correct. So 1 and 2 only. Yes. The Blue Bond Initiative targets maritime and coastal infrastructure, including inland waterways, inland সাগৰ বাহিৰ হৈ পিনে মাটিৰ ভূমি অঞ্চলত ভূমি মাটি ফালে মানুহ য'ত আমি হেৰি কৰোঁ সেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ship building and coastal road networks coastal road networks মানে য'ত তাত দাঁতিকৈ খৰিয়া সেইবিলাক হেৰি আছে ন মানে ৰিলিভেণ্ট বস্তুবিলাক আৰু য'ত দৰকাৰ কাৰণে ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট নট জাষ্ট পৰ্টছ মাত্ৰ পৰ্টছতে নহয় okay question 3 regarding the strategic role of Project Udayak in the Northeast, which of the following is accurate? Project Udayak Northeast আৰু কিবা কয় Arunachal to give a connectivity, no? It is a railway expansion project under the Northeast Frontier Railways focused on the Tinsukia to Myanmar corridor. Tinsukia Myanmar corridor মানে focus কৰিছে এইটো আৰু এইটো কি দিছে it is a border roads organization project focused on strategic road connectivity in eastern Arunachal and Upper Assam. It is a digital connectivity project provide satellite based into internet to mane etai question bicharise etai heru bicharise like statement nai. It is an agricultural and pooling initiative to rehabilitate landless farmers egeta nohoy de udayak mane hol ene jitu udayak puli dhori lo hoy titahole ki bujo je surjo uday hoy sunrise hoy heneka dhornor okhomia mile so etu Arunachalor oporote base kori hobo na Arunachal mane Upper Assam so at a border roads organization or border roads organization frontier railway to no hobo lage so B should be the correct answer border roads organization to border states bilakor amar India mane hilly area hoy na olo mane challenging area hoy location hoy garne ebilakot border roads organization e bridge banabo highways bilak banai bridge banabo tunnel banabo enike so B should be the correct answer eta Upper Assam and Arunachal Pradesh strategic road connectivity mane jitu kukolgoto juddho bigrohor karone important hojibo so B is the correct answer I did correct. Project Udayak headquartered in Dumduma Tinsukia Dumduma no headquarters Udayak is a specialized project established in 1992 bro established with na bro to established with kuise ne Udayak to project Udayak yate hobo. It is tasked with critical road and bridge infrastructure in eastern Arunachal Pradesh and parts of Assam to meet defense and strategic requirements etu buji paise bridge aru road banabo jitu critical mane olop পজিশনত থাকে ন মানে অলপ বেলেগ ধৰণৰ ন এই border বিলাকৰ কিবা চাইনাৰ পৰা কিবাৰ পৰা এনেকে বেলেগ কাণ্ট্ৰিৰ পৰা হেৰি হোৱাৰ আশংকা থাকে ন okay এইটো কিতে এইটো question number 4 the May 2026 Supreme Court ruling regarding trauma care and Article 21 includes which of the following trauma care trauma mane dukh bedona heneke he buja jai etu joton kora heneka hobo and Article 21 right tatike ase right to life with dignity heneke kiba ase na trauma care to etu right to life on animal okay statement geta dise integration of emergency helplines into the single 112 national number eta number team trauma care garne helpline number no emergency the grading of hospitals based on their trauma care capacity the grading of hospitals based on their trauma care capacity trauma care capacity eta separate area hobo niki tar garne grading dibo to mane point dibo no rank dian sina hobo niki mandatory nationalized trauma registry for all public and private hospitals etu ki hoise black amar gote public aru private hospitals jate mane registry koribo lagibo trauma registry koribo lagibo nationalized mandatory mane opori mane ki kobo gote koisu mane baidhottamulok mane lagibo so what should be the correct answer it integration of emergency helpline number hobo pare 112 to trauma care garne helpline number The grading of hospitals based on their trauma care capacity অনুযায়ী সিহঁতৰ গ্ৰেড কৰিব মানে কোনটো A grade B grade এনেকৈ mandatory nationalized trauma registry for all এটোতো nationalized এটা মানে আৰু important বস্তু so এটোতো গোটেইটা হ'ব লাগে so I think all of this should be correct so yes D is the correct answer. All the statements are correct. In Safe Life Foundation versus Union of India, May 2026, Safe Life Foundation, Union of India. The Supreme Court recognized trauma care as a component of the right to life. Trauma care to mane component kore the right to life or eta part no. Directing all states to implement these three measures for a standardized emergency response. আৰু এটা নতুনকৈ আহিছে ন right to walk on national highways কিবা এনেকৈ আছিলে এটা মানে ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় ঘাইপথত মানে যোৱাৰ অধিকাৰ কিবা খোজকাঢ়া হওক বা যোৱা হওক কিবা right to কিবা পাছ না কিবা এনেকৈ আছিলে মানে সেই তাৰ অধিকাৰ মানে কি ক'ব আৰ্টিকেল 21 ভিতৰত ৰাইট টু লাইফৰ হেৰিত আনিছে মানে হাইৱেত আমাৰ খোজকাঢ়াৰ অধিকাৰ চবৰে আছে সেনেকুৱা আৰু ন এইটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইট আৰু ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইট কৰি দিছে এইটো আৰু ট্ৰমা কেয়াৰটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইট হৈ গ'ল এতিয়া ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটে হ'ল ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটৰ আণ্ডাৰত আনিছে যেতিয়া ৰাইট টু লাইফ ন ৰাইট টু লাইফটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইট হয় ন আৰ্টিকেল 21 which sector is the primary focus of the 2026 India-Japan high-tech cooperation in the district or in the northeast? Which sector is the primary focus of 2026 Japan and India high-tech cooperation in the northeast? Japan or India মাজত কোনটো বেছি মানে হেৰি হৈছে ফোকাস হৈছে primary focus মুখ্যগত মানে কি হ'ব দৃষ্টিগত হৈছে ন pure cultural diplomacy and exchange language no হ'ব পাৰে positioning the region as a node it a semiconductor and critical mineral supply chain এটো হ'ব establishing joint military surveillance based on Myanmar border rerouting all Japanese infrastructure grants exclusively to Western India to be হ'ব যেটো জাপান আৰু ইণ্ডিয়াৰ মাজত এটা primary focus হৈছে high tech cooperation technology এটোৱে ন semiconductor and critical mineral supply chain okay so B is the correct answer yes. The 2026 in the Japan bilateral engagement including the upcoming visit by Prime Minister Takahashi focuses on industrial modernization specifically positioning Japan's Prime Minister Takahashi তাৰ নামটো আহিছে আৰু যেনিবা ইণ্ডিয়াত upcoming visit আহিবহে upcoming visit Prime Minister Takahashi আহিবহে industrial modernizationৰ কাৰণে ন industrial উদ্যোগিক মানে আধুনিকীকৰণৰ কাৰণে specifically positioning Assam as a key hub for semiconductor assembly and critical mineral development critical যেটো mineral থাকে ন rare earth element নিচিনা সেইবিলাক আৰু semiconductor বনোৱাৰ কাৰণে হেৰি আমাৰটো কি ক'ব শিৰসূৰ্য পাহাৰ আৰু কি জোৰা পাহাৰ আছিল এটা গোৱালপাৰাৰ সৰি শিৰসূৰ্য পাহাৰ নহয় টুকুৰেশ্বৰী পাহাৰ আৰু সিজুগুনা পাহাৰত আমাৰ গোৱালপাৰাত ৰেয়াৰ আৰ্থ এলিমেণ্টৰ মানে সম্ভেদ পাইছে বহুত পৰিমাণে আছে বুলি কৈছে আৰু ইপিনে এই যে জাপানবিলাক এই হেৰিত কাঠফুলা মাছৰুম প্ৰডাকশ্যনৰ কাৰণে নতুন জাপানী কিছুমান আহি কিনে এই যে ৰাণী আছে নহয় গুৱাহাটীৰ ইপিনে আজাৰা ওচৰত ৰাণী তাতে মাছৰুমৰ ট্ৰেইনিং দি গৈছে মানে অলপতে ৰাণীত কিবা এটা গাঁও আছিলে okay itu whole baru question 6 consider the following statements regarding the 16th finance commission 26-31 16th finance commission to বৰ্তমান আৰম্ভ হৈছে বুলি ক'ব পাৰি 26 ৰ পৰা 31 লৈকে 5 বছৰ okay it has replaced the tax and fiscal effort parameter used by the 15th finance commission with a contribution to GDP parameter মানে 15 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যনত যিটো বস্তু আছিলে টেক্স এণ্ড ফিজিকেল এফৰ্ট পাৰামিটাৰ তাৰ এইটো কি ক'ব তাক ৰিপ্লেচ কৰিছে চেঞ্জ কৰিছে মডাৰ্ণাইজ কৰিছে কিজানি এইটো হ'ব লাগে কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে কাৰণ এইটো জেনেৰেল এটা হেৰি ন হ'ব লাগে The awareness for income distance has been increased to modernize fiscal equity over economic efficiency. The awareness for income distance has been increased. Income or distance has been increased to prioritize fiscal equity over economic efficiency. Fiscal equity, no? Over economic efficiency. হ'ব লাগে এইটো It has mandated that grants for local bodies are now strictly contingent upon the timely constitution of state finance commissions. Now strictly wordটোৱে মানে বস্তুটো হেৰি কৰি দিব এইটো I don't think this statement is correct. মানে strictly contingent upon the timely constitution of state finance commissions and audited accounts. So 1 and 2 should be the correct answer. I will go for 1 and 2. No. 1 and 3 only. ইয়াৰ যিবিলাক টাৰ্মছ আছে এইবিলাক বুজি নাপাওঁ দেই মই ভালদৰে এইটো ফিজিকেল এফৰ্ট কিবা কিবি এইবিলাক বহুত কথা থাকে চব বস্তু মানে চব লেংগুৱেজ চব ক্ষেত্ৰত ইউজ নহয় এইবিলাক ছাবজেক্ট ৱাইজ মানে লেংগুৱেজৰ বহুত মানে হেৰি থাকে ন মিনিং থাকে চ' 1 and 3 only correct বোলে চ' এইটো কি কৈছে 16 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যন 26ৰ পৰা 31 it has replaced the tax and fiscal effort parameter used by the 15th finance commission with contribution to GDP parameter okay it correct hoise but ito bhul ase second to the awareness for income distance has been increased income distance income or jito I uparjan korar jito mane heri distance durotto eto increase hoise bole to prioritize fiscal equity over economic efficiency মানে ইনকাম নকৰে আৰু যেনেবা সেনেকুৱা হৈ গৈছে মানে ওলটা হৈ গৈছে টু প্ৰায়ৰিটাইজ ফিজিকেল ইকুইটি ফিজিকেল মানে ফাইনেন্সিয়েল যিটো টকা পইচাৰ যিটো ইকুইটি মানে সমতা সেইটো দূৰ কৰিব বৃদ্ধি কৰিবৰ কাৰণে আইটো মানে বহুত দূৰলৈকে গুচি গৈছে এনেকুৱা নিচিনা হৈছে কাষে চাপে আহিব কাষে আহিব increase hoise na income distance has been decreased hobo lagisile no so this is it that's why it is wrong it has mandated the grants for local bodies are now grants for local bodies to local body bilakor to grant toka paisa ahe heneko hobo are now strictly contingent মানে পুরা কি কব দৃঢ়ভাৱে কাঢ়াকে contingent upon the timely contingent মানে তো লিমিটেড টাইপ কিবা এনেকা হ'ব নেকি এইটো আৰু মিনিংটো মই ভালদৰে মানে হেৰি ন ফ'কাছ নহয় দেই contingent upon the timely constitution contingent মানে ষ্ট্ৰিক্ট হ'ব ইয় নেকি ঠিক ষ্ট্ৰিক্টলিৰ মিনিংটোৰ নিচিনাই হ'ল timely constitution of the state commission finance commissions and audit accounts মানে ষ্ট্ৰিক্ট হৈছে আৰু ন সেইটো আৰু কি 16 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যনটো অলপ ষ্ট্ৰিক্ট হৈছে সময়মতে বস্তুবিলাক কৰিব লাগিব বুলি কেনে ন so 1 and C correct 16 Finance Commission introduced contribution to GDP measured by gross state domestic product CSDP. Statement 2 is incorrect. The weight of income distance was actually reduced. Komaise no 45% komaise. 45% asile right 42% 42.5% korile to balance equity with performance based efficiency. So okay, this is it. 7 question number 7 with reference to the India semiconductor mission 2.0 but 2.0 hobo lage dei to auto no hoy 2026 man bilak o boli koy consider the following statements Miss India semiconductor mission Gujarat bonaise in kot bonal nazano je kot ase in Assamot ase itialoke hoa nai just on the way the roadmap shifts focus from basic foundry establishment to deep tech capabilities like wide band cab materials and narrative shape design ভালকে পঢ়িব লাগিব দেই The roadmap shifts focus from basic boundary establishment to deep tech yes basic ৰ পৰা অলপ deep কৰিব আৰু ন বস্তুখিনি মানে আপডেটেড কৰিব correct হ'ব under the mission the niti frontier tech hub exists the sol এটা sol বুলি কৈছে না only one বুলি কোনে কৈছে financial clearing house for all industrial subsidies no এইটো আৰু এবাৰ বেছিকে পঢ়াই কৈছে all কৈছে so this is not correct so at statement kita sale gum pai jabe 1 and 3 hobo so 1 and 3 will be the correct answer 3 ta pori sao it prioritizes the development of compound semiconductor storages reliance on foreign controlled intellectual property foreign or pura jibilak kiba koy mechanism ahe no kiba technology ahe সেইবিলাকৰ ওপৰত ৰিলায়েবল নহ'ব আৰু এতিয়া মানে প্ৰায়োৰিটাইজ কৰিছে সেইবিলাকৰ ওপৰত মানে ৰিলায়েন্সটো নিৰ্ভৰশীল কমাবৰ কাৰণে চ' 1 and 3 is the correct answer so C yes C I did correct that is Niti Frontier Tech Hub provides the roadmap to Niti Frontier Tech Hub roadmap and strategic direction that financial clearing for subsidies is handled by Ministry of Electronics and Financial Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and specialized nodal agencies that not hub itself hub to into native frontier hub to roadmap and strategic direction দিয়ে financial বস্তুবিলাক মেটিয়ে হ্যান্ডেল কৰে Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and nodal agency in the context of Supreme Court's May 2026 directive on vehicle safety and emergency response Supreme Court vehicular safety and emergency response organic May 2026 it mandates all public service vehicles be retrofitted with real-time panic button connectivity linked to the 112 itu ki asile 112 আমাৰ emergency response network helpline number to ki হৰ asile trauma care no trauma care মানে বেছি ভাগ trauma মানে দুখ বেদনাত থাকা না কষ্ট কৰি থাকা এনেকা ধৰণৰ বুজা trauma care নাম দিছে আৰু ন মানে যেটো সাফারিং ঘট থাকে ন এটো mandate কৰিছে অল পাব্লিক সার্ভিস তো হ'ব পাৰে বাট প্ৰাইভেট বিলাক নহব পাৰে ন সো এটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব কিবা কি কৰিছে ৰিয়েল টাইম পেনিক বাটন ন তো পেনিক বাটনৰ কাৰণে হেৰি কৰিছে কানেক্টিভিটিৰ ডাইৰেক্ট কল যাব তাতে ৰেসপন্স যাব কিবা যদি এক্সিডেন্ট হয় তো তাৰ পৰা হেৰি হ'ব আৰু মানে কি ক'ব তাক মানুহ আহিব মানে এনেকা নিচিনা হ'ব বুজি নাপাওঁ আৰু ভালকে বুজি নাপাওঁ মানে মনতে পৰা নাই সেফটিৰ কাৰণে হেৰি কৰোঁ আৰু The court empowered the Ministry of Road Transport to unilaterally deregister private service vehicles that fail to maintain an operational vehicle location tracking device. The court empowered the Ministry of Road Transport to unilaterally deregister PSVs that fail to maintain an operational vehicle location tracking device. How about it? Tracking device to fail hoy eneke kiba hobo pare na jano The judgment differentiates between good Samaritan civil protection and the mandatory duty of vehicle manufacturers to install speed limiting hardware. Good Samaritan civil good Samaritan মানে ভাল gentleman এনেকা ধৰণৰ হ'ব ন civil protection and the mandatory duty of vehicle manufacturers to install speed limiting hardware যিবিলাক মানে এইবিলাকৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত হেৰি আহে ন এইবিলাক তো mandatory wordটো ইয়াতে খাটিব যেন লাগিছে so all the statements could be correct যেন লাগিছে I will go for all statements correct tia হৈ গ'ল means correct tia হৈ গ'ল okay the quotes May 2026 is meant that is as Rajasekaran versus Union of India integrated Good Samaritan law with administrative mandates for vehicle manufacturers to ensure safety, compliance, and connectivity for real-time tracking. Question 9 regarding the 1971 to 2011. 1971 to 2011 population growth. Okay. Criteria used by the 16th Finance Commission, which of the following is true? যিয়ে নহওক বাৰে বাৰে 16 ফাইনেন্সৰ ওপৰতে আহি আছে কিন্তু এইটো ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট টপিক হয় এইবাৰৰ কাৰণে চ' ভাল কথা চ' বস্তুবিলাক কনচেপ্টবিলাক ডিপলি ক্লিয়াৰ হৈ যাব 15 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যনততো এটা বস্তু নাথাকে বহুত বস্তু সাঙুৰি থাকে ন তাতে চ' অ'কে which is true we need the true statement it uses total fertility rate as the primary determinant for population stabilization rewards. Total fertility rate, no? That is determinant for population stabilization rewards. Total fertility rate. Ito ho pare population khatrot ito bisi important hoy no most important. It essence a higher fiscal devolution way to states that have achieved lower population growth rates during the 40-year period. এটোতো নহয় ভাই য'ত মানে কি কৈছে essence a higher fiscal devolution weight to states that have achieved lower population growth rates during যিবিলাকত মানে পপুলেশ্যন কম হৈছে 40 বছৰ ধৰি সেইবিলাকত মানে কি কৈছে হায়াৰ ফিজিকেল ডিভলিউশ্যন মানে বেছি পইচা দিব নেকি ৱেট পইচা সেইটো বুজাইছে নেকি চ' এইটোতো হ'ব নোৱাৰে কাৰেক্ট হ'ব নোৱাৰে আই থিংক ইট ৰিপ্লেচেছ দ্য 2011 census population data entirely the 971 census data for all states replaces এইটো কি বুজাইছে এইটো কি এটাহে বিচাৰিছে নেকি যে কোনটো কাৰেক্ট বুলি কেনে এটাহে বিচাৰিছে চ' এইবিলাক মানে দুটা ষ্টেটমেণ্ট কাৰেক্ট তিনিটা ষ্টেটমেণ্ট কাৰেক্ট কেনেকুৱা নহ'ব it exempts the northeastern states from this performance criteria to protect their unique demographic এইটোতো হ'বই নোৱাৰে এইটোতো হ'বই নোৱাৰে নৰ্থ ইষ্টক বোলে এক্সাম কৰিছে মানে কাটি দিছে মানে কি ক'ব তাক থৰা নাই আৰু ৰাখা নাই হেৰিত এইটো হেৰিত 16 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যনৰ হেৰিত ভাৰ্চেছ 2071 চ' কোনটো হ'ব এতিয়া এইটো বস্তুটো কোনটো হ'ব মানে বস্তুটো মই কোনটো কাৰেক্ট কৰিম মইতো ইমান ভালদৰে নাজানো বস্তুখিনি it uses total fertility rate as the primary determinant নহ'ব পাৰে fertility rate যদিও তাকে যদিও primary determinant বুলি ধৰে এইটো নহ'ব পাৰে পপুলেশ্যন গ্ৰ'থটো আৰু ইপিনে যে ইমিগ্ৰেণ্ট হয় ন বাংলাদেশৰ পৰা এইবিলাকো হ'ব পাৰে okay it agents a higher fiscal devolution way to states that have achieved lower population devolutionৰ মিনিংটোৱে মই ভালদৰে বুজি পোৱা নাই দেই য'ত লোৱাৰ পপুলেশ্যন আছে তাতে বেছি পইচা দিব এনেকুৱা না কমাই দিব এনেকুৱা কিবা আছে নেকি ষ্টেটমেণ্ট পপুলেশ্যন এণ্টায়াৰলি এইটোতো হ'ব নোৱাৰে এণ্টায়াৰলি চিও হ'ব নোৱাৰে চ' বি এ দি দিওঁ বি এ হোৱা নিচিনা লাগে কাৰণ ইয়াৰ ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো অলপ লংগাৰ আছে বাকী যিয়ে হওক বা নহওক ভিতৰত ইমান ভালদৰে বুজি নাপাওঁ চ' আই উইল গ' ফৰ বি য়েছ বি হেজ কাম টু বি দ্য কাৰেক্ট আনচাৰ the 16th Finance Commission redefined demographic performance to look at growth between 1971 to 2011. States that controlled the population growth over this the demographic performance. Controlled their population growth over this 4-decade period are rewarded with a higher fiscal share to incentivize long-term demographic management. incentivize কৰিব যিবিলাকে পপুলেশ্যন কণ্ট্ৰল কৰিছে ন যেনিবা চাউথাৰ্ণ কাণ্ট্ৰিবিলাক চাউথাৰ্ণ ষ্টেটবিলাক যিটো কেৰেলা হওক তামিলনাডু হওক এইবিলাক বহুত পপুলেশ্যন কম না এইপিনে আমাৰ নৰ্থাৰ্ণ বিহাৰ ইউ পি এইবিলাকত বহুত পপুলেশ্যন গ্ৰ'থ আমাৰ আসামতো বহুত হৈছে এইবিলাকক ৰিৱাৰ্ড নকৰিব পুৰস্কাৰ নিদিব পইচা নিদিব এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ফিজিকেল শ্বেয়াৰ টু ইনচেণ্টিভাইজ লং টাৰ্ম ডেম'গ্ৰাফিক মেনেজমেণ্ট ডেম'গ্ৰাফিক মেনেজমেণ্ট কৰিব লাগে না ডিষ্টিংগুইছিং ইট ফ্ৰম 15 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যনছ 15 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যনছ ফ'কাছ অন ফাৰ্টিলিটি টোটেল ফাৰ্টিলিটি ৰেট মানে যিটো 15 ফাইনেন্স কমিশ্যন আছিলে সেইটোৰহে টোটেল ফাৰ্টিলিটিৰ ওপৰত প্ৰাইমাৰী কি ক'ব ফ'কাছ কৰিছিলে ন টোটেল ফাৰ্টিলিটি ৰেট প্ৰাইমাৰী ডিটাৰমিনেণ্ট হৈছিলে ন ফৰ পপুলেশ্যন ষ্টেবিলাইজেশ্যন ৰিৱাৰ্ডৰ পপুলেশ্যন ষ্টেবিলাইজেশ্যন ৰিৱাৰ্ডৰ কাৰণে টোটেল ফাৰ্টিলিটি ৰেট ধৰিছিল বাট ইভাৰে ডেম'গ্ৰাফিক পাৰফৰ্মেঞ্চৰ ওপৰত ধৰি কৰিছে control their population growth over 40 years no 40 years ওপৰত demographic performance মানে যিবিলাকে কন্ট্ৰল কৰি ৰাখিছে সেইবিলাকে ৰিৱাৰ্ড পাব ওকে ফুল বঢ়িয়া পপুলেশ্যন বেছি হোৱাটো ভাল নহয় একচুৱেলি ইকনমিৰ কাৰণে কিবা বোলে কিবা 18.8 কিবা এটা আছিলে নহয় আমাৰ এভাৰেজ কি ক'ব তাক কি কয় ৱৰ্কিং পাৱাৰ না ৱৰ্কিং এজ না কিবা 18 পইণ্ট এইটো বোলে 2.1 এনেকৈ ৰেট ৰাখিব লাগিব কিবা কি ক'ব তাক কিবা ৰেটিং আছিলে এইটো টোটেল ফাৰ্টিলিটি ৰেটে হ'ব এইটো ফাৰ্টিলিটি ৰেটে হ'ব ফাৰ্টিলিটি ৰেট 2.1 নে কিবা এনেকৈ ৰাখিব লাগিব বোলে তেতিয়া মানে মেন পাৱাৰ ঠিকে থাকিব আৰু ইকনমিত Analyze the implications of the urbanization premium grant recommended by the 16th Finance Commission. Urbanization premium grant. Urbanize খবৰ কাৰণে urbanization খবৰ কাৰণে না urbanize হৈ থকা premium grant মানে ভাল কি ক'ব তাক পইচা দিব ন recommended by the Finance Commission. It is a one-time financial injection. One-time বাৰে ঠিক নেকি Financial injection aimed at fast-tracking the digital infrastructure of Tier 3 cities. Tier 3 মানে কি বুজিছে Tier 3 one-time financial injection কৰিব নেকি মানে পইচা দিব নেকি to aim fast-tracking Tier 3 cities মানে to already high class আৰু এইটো কি হ'ব it specifically targets areas transitioning from rural to urban status to help mitigate the strain on local civic services. এইটো ৰুৰেলৰ পৰা আৰ্বানৰ হ'বৰ কাৰণে টাৰ্গেট কৰিছে ন এইটোৱে হ'ব প্ৰিমিয়াম urbanization premium grant এইটো ওৱান চাই লাগি আছে The grant is independent of the basis on the performance-based grants allocated to urban local bodies. The grant is independent. The basic and the performance-based grants allocated to urban local bodies. 3 এটি কেনেকৈ বিচাৰিছে so 1 to 2 অলৰেডি যিবিলাক চিটি আছে ন ফাৰ্ষ্ট ক্লাছ চিটি সেইবিলাকক হেৰি কৰিছে মানে গ্ৰেণ্ট ফাইনেলাইজ কৰাৰ কথা ফাইনেলাইজ নহয় ফাইনেন্সিয়েলাইজড কৰাৰ কথা কৈছে but 2 and 3 I think more means valid in here so I will go for 2 and 3 Yes, 2 and 3, correct. The grant focuses on support the administrative and infrastructure transition. Administrative and infrastructure transition মানে পৰিৱৰ্তন কৰিবৰ কাৰণে ন wastewater sanitation rather than just digital infrastructure to digital infrastructure কথা কৈছিলে নেকি the trusting digital infrastructure digital infrastructure নহয় statement that is এইটো কি administrative and infrastructure না rather than digital infrastructure digital কৰিলে কি হ'ব ন it is a specialized grant aimed at the transition phase okay anyways now comes question number 11 with reference to 16 Finance Commission's 26-31 recommendations on urban local body tak ULB urban local body grants okay The urbanization premium grant is urbanization premium grant is primarily a performance-based incentive. Yes, first year is that achieve 100% tax collection efficiency. Oh my God, it can go 100% tax collection efficiency. Kai no hobo na. So I don't think this is correct. The performance-based over by. Ito hoy. is primarily a performance-based initiative for to urbanization premium grant to 100% tax collection efficiency that achieve here metro পাব নেকি 100% to হবে নোৱাৰে okay let it stays like this the grant is specifically designed to facilitate the administrative merger of peri-urban villages into adjoining urban local bodies এইটো হ'ব লাগে এইটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে to correct হ'ব লাগে it encourages states to formulate a formal rural to urban transition policy এইটো 2 and 3 হ'ব এইটো urbanization premium grant is primarily যিবিলাক মানে পুৰা ধনী সেইবিলাকহে পইচা পাব এইটো নহয় সেইটো কথা নহয় সেইটো কথা হ'ব নোৱাৰে এনেকৈ পাব্লিকৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত কাৰণ পাব্লিকে নবনায় বস্তুখিনি পাব্লিক যদিও আছে তথাপিও পাব্লিক ইমান এটা ৰেছপনচিবল নহয় ৰেছপনচিবল মেইনলি হ'ব লাগে যিবিলাক পাব্লিকক নচুৱায় বা তাৰ ওপৰত যিবিলাক ল' আইন যিটো ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ বা এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেটিভ কি ক'ব তাক ৰুলিং থাকে এইটোহে ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট so এইটো হ'ব নালাগে 1 2 and 3 will be the correct answer yes 2 and 3 urbanization premium grant is one-time grant intended for infrastructure upgrading in 9 newly merged peri-urban periphery না periphery মানে আৰবানৰ ওচৰত কাষৰীয়া না এৰিয়াবিলাক যিবিলাক আধা আৰবান হোৱা নিচিনা এইবিলাকক অলপ হেৰি কৰিব লাগে গ্ৰেণ্ট দিব এণ্ড পুলিচ ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰৰ কাৰণে আৰু কিবা কয় ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ আৰু মানে এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যনৰ কাৰণে এণ্ড policy formulation not a performance based tax collection incentive এইটো নহয় বোলে performance based tax collection incentive tax collectionৰ ওপৰত যে হ'ব এইটো নহয় okay tax collection itu বেলেগ এটা চিষ্টেম কাই টেক্স দিয়ে কাই নিদিয়ে পিছৰ কথা আৰু 100% টেক্স কোনে দিব ক'ত অলপ হ'লেওতো হ'ব ন কিমান বস্তু টেক্স নোহোৱাকৈ চলি আছে বৰ্তমান আমি আৰু ক'ত টেক্স দিওঁ আমি টেক্স নিদিওঁ নহয় দিওঁ ইনডাইৰেক্ট টেক্স কিন্তু ইনকাম হ'লে আমি যদি হাজিৰা কৰিলে পইচা পাওঁ সেইটো পইচা আমি টেক্স নিদিওঁ নহয় কিন্তু দিয়াটা হ'লে অলপ বেলেগকৈ কিন্তু চবটা ক্ষেত্ৰত নহয় regarding the India semiconductor mission 2.0 26 এইবাৰ UPSCত আহিছিলে ন আমাৰ আসামৰ যে semiconductor মানে ইণ্ডিয়াত কেইটামান দিছিলে UP এনেকৈ semiconductor তাৰ নামবিলাক মিলাব দিছিলে কোনটো semiconductor কোনটো ষ্টেটৰ হয় বুলি কেনে UP গুজৰাট আসাম আৰু কিবা আছিলে এটা মধ্যপ্ৰদেশে আছিলে নে কিহে আছিলে The following represents the most significant shift in focus from India semiconductor mission 1.0 মানে কোনটো কি কৈছে represents most significant shift মানে চেঞ্জ হৈছে আৰু ন ওৱানৰ পৰা তো কি টু চেঞ্জ হৈছে shifting from supporting display fabrication to focusing solely on mobile assembly এইটো নহয় দেই এইটো হ'ব নালাগে moving from broad capacity building to fostering deep tech yes capacities like 2nm 3nm nodes and full stack indigenous IP design এইটো হ'ব replacing private sector subsidies with purely government owned manufacturing এইটো হ'ব নোৱাৰে দেই গোটেইখিনি গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ হেৰি নহয় এইটো গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ টাকা নাই কেনেকুৱা ডাঙৰ ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ কমপ্লিটলি নিজাববীয়াকৈ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টটো এক প্ৰকাৰ ক'ব গ'লে আদানী আম্বানীৰ গভৰ্ণমেণ্টতকৈ ধনী okay prioritizing the import of foreign citizenships made it that is 2B is the correct answer yes বাকী ইমান চাবলৈ দৰকাৰ নাই 2.0 marks a transition from basic fundraise setup and capacity আগতে বেছিক আছিলে ন ISM 1.0 বেছিক আছিলে এইটো কি ক'ব তাক এতিয়া আৰু আপগ্ৰেড কৰিছে capacity creation to achieving technological depth মানে deep technological হেৰিবিলাক হেৰি কৰিছে আৰু with a roadmap for 3 nm to nm notes এইটো নাজানো কি বস্তু road map পৰিছে আৰু এইখিনি notes মানে অলপ in the development of native Indian semiconductor intellectual property এইটো native কৰিব মানে ইণ্ডিয়ান হেৰি হ'ব না নিজাববীয়াকৈ বনোৱা নিচিনা আৰু ন বস্তুখিনি আৰু তো বাহিৰৰ টেকন'লজিৰ ওপৰত ৰিলায়েন্স বন্ধ কৰি দিব ন বন্ধ কৰিব মানে সম্পূৰ্ণ নোৱাৰিব বন্ধ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে চেষ্টা কৰিব 13 in the context of Supreme Court's May 26 judgment in Save Life Foundation versus Union of India. What is the constitutional basis for the directive on trauma case? Oh, trauma care, no. Itu Save Life versus India, Union of India. Here, report to see, no. মানে কি ক'ব তাক কেছ মানে কেছ জাজমেণ্ট কেছে হ'ব লাগিব directive on trauma care okay Article 14 right to equality as it mandates equal pay for healthcare workers equal pay for healthcare workers হ'ব পাৰে এইটো কি বা আনসাৰ বিচাৰিছে এটা সিঙ্গেল আনসাৰ বিচাৰিছে নেকি ওকে হৈছে analysis of Supreme Court civil line versus India which what is the constitutional basis directive on trauma care okay constitutional to 21 or asle no to is timely trauma care is deemed essential to prevent preventable loss of life preventable loss of life to 21 hour yes 21 21 asle ki asle right to life as timely trauma care is deemed essential to preventable loss of life itu 21 not the Supreme Court recognized that prompt and efficient trauma care is an extension of the prompt মানে লৰালৰিকে না সময় টাইমলি ন and efficient মানে useful no ভালভাৱে ন trauma care is an extension of the constitutional right to life under Article 21 right to life itu মানে itu এনে কিবা কয় এক্সটেন্ড কৰাৰ নিচিনা হৈছে আৰু মানে এনে কনষ্টিটিউশ্যনত থাকে কামত আহে না নাহে গেৰাণ্টি নাহে সেনেকুৱা নিচিনা বাট এইটো অলপ এক্সটেন্ড কৰিছে এইটো মানে ট্ৰমা কেয়াৰৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত মানে পূৰা এফেক্টিভ কৰিছে আৰু নেচেচিটেটিং ষ্টেণ্ডাৰ্ডাইজড ইমাৰ্জেঞ্চি চিষ্টেমছ লাইক 112 হেল্পলাইন এণ্ড ট্ৰমা ৰেজিষ্ট্ৰি কৰিব লাগিব গোটেইকেইটা হস্পিটেল প্ৰাইভেট এণ্ড পাব্লিক ন চ' দিছ ইজ ইট Question 14, the Section Finance Commission has introduced contribution to GDP parameter to replace the tax and fiscal effort parameter. Ito statement no ito ka introduced contribution to be parameter to contribution to GDP parameter para tax and fiscal effort parameter like upgrade কৰিছে no how is this contribution calculated ito tax and fiscal effort I don't know properly let's see what comes okay answer to kiba d olaise niki okay d olaf kiba olaf no tension moi nijor mote dim based on the total tax revenue collected by the state in the previous based on the tax ito to in a simple statement as the square root of a state's gross state domestic product relative to the sum of square roots of gross state domestic product of all states ki man tan root square root mathematics ani dise so I'll not go for this maybe the of all states boli kuisi no thike ase all state hobo pare by no hobo pare by measuring the growth rate of the agriculture sector relative to the national average based on the total number of industrial units operational within the state কি বস্তু বুজিছে I don't know they do অলপ মই থুবে পৰা নাই বস্তু no based on the total tax revenue collected by the state in the previous financial year এটো কি হৈছে tax and fiscal effortৰ কথা হৈছে no as the square root of a state's CSDP relative to the sum of square roots of CSDP of all states ito beleg question again by measuring the growth rate of the agricultural sector related to the national average. Agricultural sector no. And the total number of industrial units person within the state. Industrial unit oporate hobo lage no. কি ক'ম তাৰ এইটো ফুল হৈছে বুলি ধৰি ল'লোঁ আৰু মই মানে নিদিওঁ দেই এইটো মাৰ্ক নকৰোঁ তথাপিও ফুল হৈছে বুলি মাৰ্ক কৰিম মই অ'কে ফুল হৈছে বুলি মাৰ্ক কৰিম তথাপিও এটা মই আইডিয়া দিওঁ based on the total tax revenue collected by the এইটো নহ'ব to square root sum of square roots of all states এইটো নহ'ব দেই নহ'ব পাৰে I will not go for this one as well so I will go for D okay B A correct আছিলে B to lengthy আছিল question to statement to so lengthy হলে বেছি correct হোৱাৰ chances থাকে anyways okay এইটো এটা প্ৰগ্ৰেছ চাৱা নিচিনা হৈছে বাট মই পচন্দ কৰা নাছিলোঁ আৰু ন টেক্স এণ্ড ফিজিকেল এফৰ্ট পেৰামিটাৰটো কি বুলি কৈছে দে এজ দ্য স্কুৱেৰ ৰুট অফ ষ্টেট CSTP স্কুৱেৰ ৰুট বোলে square root relative to the sum of squared roots of GSTP of all states. The 16th Finance Commission calculates the contribution to GDP using the square root of the state's nominal GSTP average 2018 to 24 to the sum of the square roots of all states CSTP, replacing the older fiscal effort parameter to reward economic size and contribution. Question 15. Consider the following regarding the special infrastructure component recommended for urban local bodies by the 16th Finance Commission. Special infrastructure component. Okay. It is tied to the development of comprehensive wastewater management systems. Special infrastructure component. Okay. It is applicable to all cities regardless of their population size. Ito hobo pare dei. The funding pattern requires the union government to bear 60% of the project cost. Save the comprehensive wastewater management system. It is applicable to all cities regardless of their population size. Population kotha koise aru all city kotha koise all city to hobo paribo niki special infrastructure component eto special eto no hobo de all dot no hobo special mane to ekar separate bostu hobo no the funding pattern requires the union government to bear 60% of the project cost mane 60% union e korbo pay korbo aru baki 40% to state korbo eniko hobo pare no which are correct 1 and 2 will be 1 and 3 I will go for 1 and 3 yes C I will go yes C I did correct অলপ ডাউট হৈছিলে নহ'ব পাৰে বুলি কেনে এইটো পপুলেশ্যনৰ ওপৰত ৰিগাৰ্ডলেছ অল চিটিজ এইটো নহয় ন স্পেচিয়েলি ফৰ চামথিং যেনেকৈ আমাক স্পেচিয়েল কি ক'ব তাক প্ৰভিজন থাকে না আমাৰ ষ্টেটবিলাকৰ আসামত তেনেকৈ ৱেষ্ট ৱাটাৰ ফ'কাছ এইটো কাৰেক্ট হয় This specific guarantees are guided only at cities with a population between it code high population between it gives special infrastructure component to no the 16 Finance Commission between 10 lakh and 40 lakh 10 lakh or 40 lakh people or city as no population based on 2011 census is regarding 60% union share and 40% have to be native এতিয়া 2011 সেন্সাসে ডিপেন্ড কৰি আছে সেন্সাসে কৰিব পৰা নাই ইমান দুখীয়া সরকার দুর্বল সরকার সেন্সাস কৰিব পাৰিব লাগিছিলে তাকে কই বৰ্তমান 7 নম্বৰ ইকোনমি হৈছে না ওয়ার্ল্ডস বিগেস্ট ইকোনমি কি কো 7 নম্বৰ ইকোনমি বলে ইন্ডিয়া সেমিকন্ডাক্টৰ থাকা কত সাউথ কোরিয়া আৰু থাইল্যান্ড নে কি আছিলে দুটা মানে হেৰি 4th নাম্বাৰ আছিলে 4th নাম্বাৰৰ পিছত 7 নাম্বাৰ হৈ গ'ল এতিয়া ইণ্ডিয়া with reference to the contribution to GDP parameter introduced by the 16th Finance Commission, which of the following? Okay, GDP parameter bole contribution to GDP. Iman as a Finance Commissioner replaces the tax and fiscal effort parameter to reward states for their. Ito no hai to GDP contribution or parameter introduced by. Favorable economic size. Oh my god. With regards to the contribution to GDP parameter introduced by the 16th Finance Commission. Correct, is correct. It replaces the tax and fiscal effort parameter. Ito contribution to GDP ne kiba tar pura ito tax replace korise aro ito koise ki tax and fiscal effort replace korise bole parameter. Ito nohoy correct no hobo ito ulta hoise. The calculation is based on the ratio of states nominal GDP's GSDP to the national GDP. Contribution to GDP no ito hobo pare. States nominal GDP to national GDP. It uses a square root transformation of GSDP to reduce the influence of extreme values among states. It 3 to correct about the square root formation across state domestic product to reduce influence of entire outliers among states. 3 to exact hobo lage 1 to no hobo so 2 and 3 that is B no hoy 1 and 3 he hol 2 to no hoy 1 statement mein buji na pulu falke. It replaces tax and fiscal effort. Tax and fiscal effort kurise he keneke replace kurise tumi dhabo parna. To reward states statement to mane buji pone falke. Okay. Statement 1 is correct bole because the calculation is the square root of a state's GSDP divided by the sum of square roots of all states GSDP, not the simple ratio of GSDP to nominal GDP. Simple no hai no simple to no hai mane square root. The square root transformation is a standard statistical method to normalize the impact of large economy states. Regarding the urbanization premium grant it is a recurring grant provided annual to all urban local bodies in India. It to one time hasle no it to no hobo it na it is intended to support the infrastructure and administrative transition in peri-urban areas into municipal boundaries areas merged into yes it correct municipal mane urban no it correct it is linked to 100% implementation of the rural to urban transition policy formulated by the state government. Itu 2 only to থাকে 2 only hobo kintu jodu na থাকে teta hole 2 and 3 2 and 3 correct hobo 100% boli koise no itu to muk phul lagile no eto 1 to ki ase recurring grant provide anywhere to all urban local bodies eto no o be eta no 2 and 3 hobo 2 and 3 b yes this the correct answer 100% mane urban to local koribo. Okay. Okay, one-time grant, no, not a recurring annual grant. Okay. They align with the 16 Finance Commission's objective to assign the sustained administrative and infrastructure burden of urban sprawl and policy formalization. Consider following regarding the India Semiconductor Mission 2.0 to 26. It aims to develop domestic capacities for process nodes 2nm and 3nm. এইটোৱে কৰিছে ন এইটোৱে কৰিছে এইটো am কৰিছে এইটো কাৰেক্ট হয় 2nm 3nm কৰিব না nodes. The mission focuses exclusively over the fabrication sector, excluded the design. Design কৰিব fabrication কৰিব দুটাও থাকিব so এইটো কাটটা যাব exclusively কৈছে ন it targets the creation of an indigenous full stack semiconductor. Yes, indigenous মানে পুরা নিজস্ব না নিজভাবে local full intellectual property. Yes, 1 and 3 1 and 3 come on see she 1 2 3 see yes I did correct. Okay, alongside fabrication there is a design ecosystem also there have been posted. Okay, in the context of May 2026 Supreme Court ruling on trauma care, which of the following are accurate regarding the no nationalized trauma registry? Yes, bare bare I have says more practice to ভাল হ'ব no. It is to be maintained solely by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is solely বুলি কৈছে ডাইৰেক্ট হেল্থ এণ্ড ৱেলফেয়াৰ মাত্ৰ হ'ব নেকি কিবা হেৰিও থাকিব পাৰে না আৰু বেলেগ হেৰিও থাকিব পাৰে so I don't think this is correct. It mandates the inclusion of data from both public and private medical facilities. Yes, এইটো হ'ব mandate কৰিবই এইটো কৈছে এইটো কিবা registry trauma registry কৰিব লাগিব no 2 is correct. It is designed to track real-time emergency response metrics like ambulance transit time. Yes, real-time মানে কি ক'ব তাক কি ক'ব কৈছে real-time track কৰিব no 2 and 3 only 2 and 3 B. Yes, 1 2 কেনেকৈ ভুলি গ'ল তো solely কৈছে ন এটা কিবা বেলেগ থাকিব পাৰে Ministry of Health and Family Welfare উপৰিও কি কি থাকিব both state and national components got লাগিব সব registry কৰিব লাগিব ন trauma registry with states responsible for establishing registries for facilities within their jurisdiction. Okay, mandates the courts oversight. Okay, নকলে ভালকে ষ্টেটৰ লাগিব ফেমিলি ভালকে নকল বস্তুটো which of the following best defines the objective of basic grant 80% for local bodies as recommended by the 16 Finance Commission? এইটো কি 60% হে আছিলে ন 60% ইউনিয়ন গ্ৰেণ্ট আছিলে বাকী এইটো কি বেছিক গ্ৰেণ্ট দিছে বেছিক গ্ৰেণ্ট বোলে 80% কি এটা বডিজ ৰিকমেণ্ডেড বাই ফাইনেন্স কিহৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত বা it is exclusively for administrative salary payments of local body staff. Basic grant হ'ব পাৰে নহ'ব পাৰে exclusive কৰা আছে বুলি কিনে কাটা যাব ন it is derived into one untied component of an component tied to sanitation, solid waste and water management, divided into an untied component and a component tied to waste. এইটো হ'ব পাৰে দেই. It is a performance-based incentive given to states that have fully digitized their property tax records. Yes, এইটোতো নহ'ব digitize কোৱাটোৱে বস্তুটো ইয়াতে মানে এটা খাপ নাখায়. Okay, সিটো ডাইৰেক্ট কাটা যাব. It is an emergency fund to be used during this. এইটোতো নহয়েই basic grant emergency ক্ষেত্ৰত নহ'ব emergency ক্ষেত্ৰত বেলেগ হ'ব ন is a divide into one untied component and a component tied to sanitation social B হ'ব. Yes, মই বি এইটো ভালদৰে জানা নাছিলোঁ বাট বাকী তিনিটা ষ্টেটমেণ্ট মোৰ ইমান এটা পচন্দ কৰা নাছিলোঁ বিটো মানে অলপ ভাল লাগিছে সেইটোৱে দি দিলোঁ The 16th Finance Commission, that is structure for local body grants, allocates 80% as basic grants, split equally 50% pure and tight and tight, okay, 50-50 between general municipal functions and critical services like sanitation and water, municipal money administrative organ infrastructure কাৰণে ন আৰু বেলেগ sanitation এইবিলাক মানে বেলেগ বেলেগকৈ অ'কে অলপ ৰেষ্ট লওঁ নেকি অলপ ৰেষ্ট লওঁ ৰ'ব Question 21. Consider the following statements regarding the 16th Finance Commission 2631. Local body grants. The aggregate grant is divided in a 60-40 ratio between rural local bodies and urban local bodies. To 60-40 হ'ব লাগে দে For urban local bodies, the interstate distribution is determined by 90:10 ratio of the projected urban population 2026 and the on source of revenue of LBs, urban local bodies. The interstate distribution is determined by 90:10 ratio. 90:10 ratio of the projected urban population and the on source of revenue. The Commission has mandated that no local body can spend more than 20% of its untied allocation on road construction or maintenance. One and two only. I will choose one and two only. All right, correct. Full korilu. একো নাজানো তাৰমানে এইটো বুজি পালোঁ 60:40 rural and urban and interstate বোলে distribution 90:10 the urban population and on source revenue urban local population. The Commission has mandated that no local body can spend more than 20% of its untied allocation on road construction and maintenance. Okay. All three statements accurately reflect the 16th Finance Commission's regarding the division of grants, the criteria for interstate distribution among states or urban local bodies, and the expenditure caps on road infrastructure. Yes, it is working. With reference to the special infrastructure component of the 16th Finance Commission's urban local body grants, which of the following is true? Answer to দেখা পালো ন Okay, মই কোনটো answer কৰিলো এইটো মই নিজে অনুমান কম হা It is applicable to all cities with a population above 1 lakh. All cities to know here. It is specifically marked for what wastewater management systems in cities with a population of 10 to 4 lakh 40 lakh itu ta hote paisu na itu dilu hoy. So smart city rating capital expenditure municipal corporation so BA কাৰে ক'ব ন মই BA দিলোঁ হেতেন কাৰণ 10 লাখৰ পৰা 40 লাখৰ পপুলেশ্যনৰ ভিতৰ চিটিবিলাক হাঙৰি লয় ন component is targeted grant specifically for wastewater management and mid-sized cities 10 to 40 lakh population mid-sized no to address specific infrastructure strain in those urban centers Under the India Semiconductor Mission 2.0, the Dhruva 64 microprocessor is significant because Dhruva 64 no Dhruv 64 পাইছো এইটো so এটা কি কৈছে ইন্টেলিজেন্স চিপছ এনসাৰটো নাচা চোৱা নাই দেই দেখা নাই এনসাৰটো ওলোৱাই নাই it is the first foreign design chip to be built in India 2nm foundry Dhruvaটো ইণ্ডিয়ান হ'ব লাগে ন it leverages the open source risk 5 এইটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে B2 শুনিছিল লাগিছে architecture to eliminate licensing costs and foster indigenous design yes এইটো হ'ব লাগে it is proprietary chip developed by a foreign conglomerate exclusively put it is at graphic processing unit designed to compare with high-end artificial intelligence chips from Silicon Valley no from Silicon Valley no Silicon Valley B yes B is the correct answer Dhruva is a key achievement of the in digital India risk 5 yes risk 5 to what পাইছো যেন লাগিছে no and DIRV program for P মানে 5 program by using the open source risk 5 architecture it eliminates dependency on expensive foreign instruction said architecture ISA licenses promoting technological sovereignty okay. In the May 2026 Supreme Court ruling Civil Life Foundation versus Union of India which of the following is mandated for good Samaritans good Samaritan mandate good Samaritan মানে civic citizens নাকি mandatory compensation that is 5,000 for every good Samaritan by the state government strengthening of grievances redressal mechanisms to protect them from police and procedural harassment and legal immunity from both civil and criminal liability for actions taken in good faith during the golden hour. It's all complicated like it's a mandatory compensation very good Samaritan by the state government to correct hobo no ete statement ki dise legal immunity from both civil and criminal liabilities for actions liability for actions taken in good faith in golden hour legal immunity তো গোটেইকেইটাই হ'ব অল হ'ব দে অল দি দিওঁ য়েছ অলে কাৰেক্ট হৈ গ'ল the court reinforced the existing legislative protections good Samaritan rules 2020 and mandated their strict implementation including the 5,000 rupees incentive award under PM Rahat and robust protection against harassment. Regarding the Assam government's recent administrative updates, which of the following is correct? Administrative update, no? Okay, come on, the statement is not okay. Recent updates for Assam government's recent administrative update. The affordable price pulses sugar and salt scheme has been permanently scrapped to favor permanent দিছে ন permanent দিলে মানে কাম নহয় এটা the scheme is temporarily suspended due to the vote on account budget arrangement and is slated to resume in August 2026 vote on account হ'ব পাৰে এইটো recent update question no government's recent administrative update under kit suspended no okay the government has mandated all on the day on Yojana beneficiaries receive double the quota of free rice instead of past scheme no the it is suspend করতেছি no যিটো ঘটনাকণ যিটো ৰিজিউম কৰিব the suspension applies up to the promotorial districts and no suspension এইটো নহয় B হ'ব yes B correct answer হৈ গ'ল the scheme is under a temporary temporary pause no pause কৰি থৈছে due to the Vodun account transition until the full budget is presented and approved in July 2026 okay July 2026 at ki full budget হ'ব no নেকি and the full budget is presented approved July 2026 আগষ্টৰ পৰা জুম কৰিব বোলে ন আগষ্ট জুলাই জুলাই আগষ্ট জুলাইত শেষ হ'ব আগষ্টৰ পৰা আৰম্ভ কৰিব okay and that 16 Finance Commission's devolution formula, the demographic performance parameter has been fundamentally recalibrated following accurately describes this change. Demographic performance. Demographic performance এইটো আগতে total fertility rate পৰা আছিলে ন but the rate to absolute population growth right between 71 to development এইটো হ'ব A1 centimeter commission stabilization formula it isn't higher fiscal weight to states that have successfully transited from rural to urban it entirely documents decouples demographic stabilization from fiscal performance to ensure states are not double penalized for development successes. এইটো ওৱানটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব আৰু এইপিনে কি কৈছে ওৱান অনলি as in a higher fiscal weight to states that have successfully transitioned. No. Two to correct no. 3D entirely only one B. Yes. Entirely yes, no. The 16 Finance Commission state focus from total fertility rate 15 Finance Commission and to the population growth rate that is 1971 plus 2011. This is not a factor in demographic performance. Statement is incorrect as the Commission specifically managed the performance-based incentive structure. Okay. Regarding 16 Finance Commission grants for urban local bodies, which are the statements regarding the performance-based component is accurate. Performance-based accurate question. No, it is automatically released if the urban local body submits an audit account for the preceding 2 years. Preceding 2 years, 2 বছৰ আগৰ কাহিনী It requires the urban local body to demonstrate a minimum 15% year-on-year increase in property tax collection efficiency. It is contingent upon the state government notifying a formal rural to urban transition policy and meeting specific service level benchmarks for sanitation. To accurate answer like this, it is a fixed money to ensure operational continuity. To fix no unconditional. It is contingent upon the state government notifying a formal rural to urban transition policy and meeting specific service level benchmarks for sanitations. C হ'ব yes C. The 16 Finance Commission has introduced specific policy level conditionalities for performance grants, emphasizing that states must have a codified transition policy and urban local bodies must meet benchmarked service level improvements. What is the contribution to GDP parameter in the 16 Finance Commission use a square root transformation of the nominal GSDP square root transformation here calculate to to comply with the international standards stated by to amplify the weight of smaller underdeveloped states by giving them disproportionately higher physical space, to normalize the data and dampen the skewing effect of large economy states with massive GSDP figures, to account for the inflationary trend in GSDP calculations over the last 6 years. Do you know how to amplify the weight of smaller underdeveloped states? It be able, see all. So sorry. To normalize the data and dampen the skewing effect of larger economy states with massive GSDP. Okay, C to carry whole more full no? To square the square root transmission is a statistical tool used by the Commission to ensure that the contribution to GDP parameter which economic activity without allowing states with massive economies to completely dominate the fiscal share allocation, thereby maintaining a balanced equity efficiency trade-off. The Supreme Court Directive May 2026 regarding the National Trauma Registry requires that data must be separated by the mode of transit, ambulance versus private vehicle, to audit emergency response times. National Trauma Registry. Data must be segregated by the mode of transit, ambulance versus private vehicle, to audit emergency response times. The registry is accessible only to central government health officials for policy research. It must capture both clinical outcomes and pre-hospital care data to facilitate gold standard with real treatment audits. 1 in 3 of 1 in 3 C. Yes. The government mandated the registry be an integrated, transparent system accessible to state and clinical authorities for the purpose of improving patient care, not restricted to central policy resources. Resources. Under the modified programs for development of semiconductor and display manufacturing 2026 to 27. 26-27 semiconductor display manufacturing. What is the strategic significance of 8,000 crore outlay? You add 1,000 crore takar itu ki asile display manufacturing or modification program of semiconductor and display manufacturing. It is solely for the acquisition of foreign-owned semiconductor patents. No. It represents the total budgetary support of the 2NM fabrication, not pistolate establishment. It focuses on accelerating capital investment across the full value chain, fabrication, packaging, and design to move from policy to production readiness. It is an emergency fund intended to bail out failing startups within the design-linked incentive system. Seen holiday, no? The modified program for development semiconductor display manufacturing modification or strategic significance of 8,000 now focuses on accelerating capital investment across the full value chain, fabrication, packaging, and design to move person readiness. This is CEO, yes. See hobo dite ar ki failing startup to apply apply no, that is not. The 8,000 crore outlay for 2027 is a capital incentive drive me to bridge the gap between policy formulation policy formulation to India semiconductor mission 1.0 and production readiness, supporting supporting the entire manufacturing and innovation life cycle. Last time final rate as na ফাইনেল এটাচমেণ্টৰ কাৰণে regarding the demographic performance parameter in the 16th Finance Commission, the evaluation formula identify the correct statement. Bare ahi ase na beleg dhorone ahibo olop. It is based on the total fertility rate to reward states that achieve the lowest fertility rate by 2026 to মানে বস্তুটো সব বস্তু মান ভালকে বুজি নাপাওঁ দেই গোটেইকেইটা চেণ্টেঞ্চ পঢ়ি চাওঁ It realized all the population growth rate between 71 to 2011 rewarding states with lower growth যা এইটো বিটো কাৰে খোৱানচিন লাগি আছে দেই এইটো ফাইনেন্স ডেভলিউশ্যন ন এইটোৱে That's the only rural population growth. It is an untied parameter that allows states to define their own demographic benchmarking. It tied untied to those, To be it realized or the growth B to ABC here B correct whole. 16th Finance Commission have done the total fertility rate based approach of the 15th Finance Commission and moved to the population growth rate 971 to 11. To provide a long-term view of demographic management, common tribe is assumed the 15th Finance Commission's total fertility rate criterion still applies. Okay, doesn't total fertility rate to apply no? It's a demographic movement rate only. Demographic system or demographic population je heri kore komai he mane heri reward. The Uniform Civil Code Assam 2026 contains a significant exemption clause to pare notun ahise Uniform Civil Code prothomte code hoise Guato aru 1987 or pora na 1887 or pora ase na Guat tar pisot Uttarakhand tar pisot Uttarakhandor pisot Gujarat na Gujarator pisot Assam North East prothom pahari gulo korpa Uniform Civil Code 2026 contains significant exemption clause. Exemption bole. Exemption hole kak korbo. Notice tribal bilakok korbo ar kite. It exempts all religious minorities. It exempts only the 6 civil districts living on non-6 civil tribal areas subject to the code. It exempts all scheduled tribes, both hill and plain, to protect their customary laws. Yes, scheduled tribes are garner so okay to exempt kore. Allows tribal communities to opt to the UCC but to see hoy. Yes. UCC Bill 2026 provides a blanket exemption for all scheduled tribes in the state, regardless of whether they are hill or plain, to ensure their customary governance systems remain legally insulated. 16th Finance Commission, which of the following grants previously provided by the 15th Finance Commission have been completely discontinued? The following grants previously provided by the Commission has been completely discontinued. Revenue deficit grants, sector specific grants, state specific grant, disaster management grants. To answer to select the correct code. Revenue deficit grant, sector definite grant, state specific grants. Disaster management grant. The code ki dise. Hole did you hole নহলে নাই এতে নহল মোৰ ভুল হল 4.9 disaster management grant নহয় মানে এইটো একো বুজি পোৱা নাছিলো মই বস্তুটো এই কাৰণে মই দি দিছিলো ভুল হৈ গল completely discontinued কৰিছে না disaster management grant to discontinue কৰা নাই নেকি under 16th Finance Commission which of the following grants previously provided by the discontinued আগতে discontinued মানে মানে disaster management grants to আগতে আছিলে বাট এবাৰে নহয় এবাৰে নহয় কৰিছে ওকে revenue deficit grant আছে sector deficit grant আছে state specific grant আছে Section Finance Commission discontinued revenue deficit what now sector specific and state specific grants where it continues to provide disturbance this is the classic trapping question okay all grants were slashed মই অলে দিছিলোঁ না The Finance Commission of which of the following grants previously provided by the blood discontinued এইবিলাক নাই আৰু না মাত্ৰ ডিজাস্টাৰ মেনেজমেণ্ট গ্ৰাণ্টছহে আছে এতিয়া মেনেজমেণ্ট গ্ৰাণ্টছ দিছ ইজ আ ক্লাছিক ট্ৰেপিং ডিচিশ্যন অ'কে বাকী এইগিলা নাই আৰু ডিজাস্টাৰ মেনেজমেণ্ট গেপহে আছে অ'কে বঢ়িয়া কুৱেশ্যন বঢ়িয়া দ্য কণ্ট্ৰিবিউশ্যন টু GDP parameter ইমান এটা কুৱেশ্যনকে বাৰে বাৰে দি আছে হাউ ডাজ দ্য 16th Finance Commission neutralize the massive economic scale of states like Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu? Parameter to GDP parameter. How does the 16th Finance Commission neutralize the massive economic scale of Maharashtra Tamil Nadu? बहुत massive है ना economic scale तो यानी कि neutralize करे मिलाए by providing a gap of 5% over the total share of single by using the square root of the nominal GDP 1824 average. By excluding the manufacturing sector contribution from GSDP calculation, by giving a negative weight of the state GSDP to debt ratio. এটা বিয়ে হ'ব লাগে দেই বিয়ে হ'লে হ'ল নহ'লে নাই বিয়ে হ'ব লাগিলে হ'ল নহ'লে নাই বিয়ে হৈ গ'ল কাটি কেঞ্চাৰ square root না nominal GSDP 28/24 average বোলে okay the square root transformation is a mathematical leveler evaluates economic size GSDP but prevents the most industrialized states from completely hovering up the fiscal share okay the following regarding the Vikas Bharat Rozgar एवं आजीविका विकास भारत रोजगार एवं आजीविका मिशन रूरल VBREAM VBRIM विकास भारत रोजगार एवं आजीविका मिशन It is a new central mission scheduled to replace MGNREGA nationwide starting from July 1st, 2026. It aims to integrate employment generation with livelihood diversification. It retains the same administrative structure and fund flow mechanism as the legacy MGNREGA. Vikas Bharat Rozgar एवं आजीविका मिशन New central mission scheduled to replace MGNREGA nationwide starting MGNREGA replace কৰিব নেকি replace তো নকৰিব It aims to integrate employment generation with livelihood diversification two entry হ'ব two entry It retains the structure and fund flow mechanism as the legacy MGNREGA two entry B Salah হ'ল 1 and 2 নাজানো শুনা নাছিলোঁ দেই বিকাশ ভাৰত रोजगार एवं आजीविका मिशन के 1 and 2 only ना It is a new central mission scheduled to replace MGNREGA nationwide MGNREGA replace करो बोले it aims to integrate employment generation with livelihood diversification It retains the same administrative structure and fund flow mechanism as the legacy the same question same administrative structure and fund flow mechanism as the legacy ho চেম হ'ব বুলি না কৈছে ন সেইটো ভুল হ'বই চেম হ'ব বুলি কৈছে কেনেকৈ চেম হ'ব পাৰিব ন নতুনকৈ ওলাইছে যেতিয়া এইটোৱে মোৰ ভুল হ'ল চেম ৱৰ্ডটো মই চাব লাগিছিলে okay no problem operational framework and technological integration moving away from the purely manual labor or incentive focus of the legacy operational frameworkটো বেলেগ হ'ব না আগৰ মেনুৱেল লেবাৰ আছিলে ন এম জি এনেকুৱাৰ সেইবিলাক কামবিলাক অলপ বেলেগ হ'ব আৰু the Vikas Bharat Roskar Reform Ajivika Mission ROA launched in June 2026. Which of the following is the most accurate depiction of its livelihood diversification strategy? Okay, it reminded that 40% of all labor days must be spent on non-farm enterprise-based activities. It introduces a skill-based component where 30% of wages are incentivized through micro-entrepreneurship vouchers rather than direct cash. It replaces the labor budget approach with an outcome-based framework performance index tied to state-level poverty reduction targets. It converts the entire funding structure of 100% centrally sponsored scheme involving state matching grants. এইটোতো হ'ব পাৰে নহ'ব পাৰে এইটো ডিটো ইমান এটা ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট নহয় বাট এইটো স্কিল ব্ৰিজ এইটো মানে বেছি এটা ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট বস্তু হয় It is a skill bridge component where 30% of wages are incentivized through micro-entrepreneurship vouchers rather than direct cash. It will be yes. The mission's core innovation is skill-based voucher which aims to move laborers away from purely manual work into micro-enterprises কিবা দোকান দিব কিবা কাম কৰিব ঘৰতে এনেকুৱা হ'ব পাৰে Yes, incorrect. Okay, 40% is not the state mandate. Okay, 30% is no. 30% of wages are incentivized through micro-entrepreneurship. 30% of wages no. Incentivized through micro-entrepreneurship vouchers. Direct cash নিদি কেনে সেইগুলা দিব আৰু কি ন কেছ নিদি কেনে এটা দোকান খুলি দিব ঠেলা দিব কিবা দিব এনেকৈ ধৰণৰ Okay. It complements, not replaces the labor budget, and legacy funding model is modified, not removed. Okay. Funding to দিব but হেৰি কৰা নাই আৰু ন এটা কি কৈছে skill based voucher aims to move laborers away from purely manual ways are incentivized through micro entrepreneur vouchers 30% to হেৰি কৰিব না ডাইৰেক্ট কেছ নিদি কিনে বেলেগ হেৰি দিব ইনচেণ্টিভাইজ কৰিব মাইক্ৰ' এণ্টাৰপ্ৰেনাৰশ্বিপ মানে হেৰি দিব কি ক'ব তাক ভাউচাৰ The 16th Finance Commission 26 to 31 has redefined fiscal effort under the new fiscal discipline incentives, which statement accurately identifies how this differs from previous commissions' fiscal effort. It uses a tax GSDP ratio averaged 6 year 18 to 24 to smooth out pandemic reduced volatility. It excludes non-tax revenue from the calculation to prevent artificial inflation of fiscal no. It applies a correction factor for states with a GSDP growth rate lower to the national average. It excludes non-tax revenue from the calculation to prevent artificial national 1 and 3 correct over to 1 and 3 C chala ole correct hol kote kete correct bole exclude non-tax revenue to exclude kore katti dia from the calculation to prevent artificial inflation of fiscal effort. Okay. তো মই ভালদৰে বুজি নাপাওঁ দেই ইমান টান ৱৰ্ড The Commission's fiscal discipline framework is highly technical. It uses the 6 years average, excludes non-tax revenue, and applies a correction factor to ensure states that are slower growing are not unfairly penalized compared to high revenue states. Okay. Under the Assam UCC Bill 2026, what is the legal status of live-in relationships? Oh, live-in relationship মানে পুরা hot topic হৈছে না বৰ্তমান আসামত. They are granted full marital status. Full marital status দিয়া নিচিনা হৈছে তো, including inheritance rights, provided the leadership, provided partnership exceeds that is 12 months. 12 মাহ পাৰ্টনাৰশ্বিপ হেৰি হ'লে দিব আৰু কি 12 মাহ যদি একেলগে থাকে তেতিয়া মানে ফুল মেৰিটেল ষ্টেটাছ দিব ন এইটো 12 মাহ নাকি এইটো নাজানো হয়তো এটি মাষ্ট বি ৰেজিষ্টাৰ্ড উইথ দ্য ডিষ্ট্ৰিক্ট magistrate fellow within along with the parties lose maintenance claims upon separation. They are completely prohibited and carry a penalty under the state's criminal code. এইটোতো নহয় completely prohibited নহয়. They are fully exempted from the UCC and remain under the jurisdiction of the Hindu Marriage Act. Fully exempted from UCC. No, এইটো হ'ব নালাগে দে UCCৰ লগতে মিলি যোৱা নিচিনা হয় ন UCCৰ লগতে কানেকশ্যন থকা বস্তু ন So which is the correct answer? A correct answer. Parties lose maintenance claims about separation. A correct হ'ব ন এতিয়া A correct হ'ব এতিয়া কি বিচাৰিছে কেনেকৈ বিচাৰিছে Oh my god, B correct হ'ল ফুল marital status কৈছে এইটোৰ কাৰণে ভুল হৈ গ'ল না মোৰ The Assam UCC Bill 2026 mandates mandatory registration of live-in relationships to ensure legal protection of the partners, particularly regarding maintenance and safety. Failure to register renders the relationship unrecognized for civil claim purposes. I keep fight for legal scrutiny. Yes, এইটোৱে correct আছিলে. They must be registered. Yes, register কৰিব লাগিব district magistrator হেৰিত following which the but the parties lose maintenance claims upon separation. এইটো কাৰেক্টে আছিলে ন কিন্তু এইটো 12 মাহটো ফুল marital statusটো নহয় ডাইৰেক্টলি ন কেনেকৈ গ্ৰেণ্ট কৰিব ডাইৰেক্ট কৰিব লাগিব সেনেকৈ দিয়া আছে অ'কে ফুল হ'ল ন ফুল হ'লে আৰু In the context of the India Semiconductor Mission 2.0, what is the full stack indigenous IP mandates? They must use only India-made CAD software tools for ship layout. They are required to develop all levels of the ship architecture from the ISA instruction set architecture up to the application layer without relying on imported core blocks. P2. They must ensure their ships no. That is B. Full stack means the firm must own the entire design life cycle. This is the government's attempt to enter design life cycle. Must own Adam to achieve architectural sovereignty, moving beyond merely assembling foreign designs. Why did the Six Finance Commission's mandate 20% cap on untied funds for roads in its local body grant recommendations to discourage states from using municipal grants for political payment policies? No. To force municipalities to seek private sector financing both models for all road projects? No. To align with the central government's PM Gati Shakti master plan, which dictates the All votes must be centrally tendered. Mm, mm, mm. To ensure that the direct grants for water and sanitation are not scandalized or cannibalized by the popular but less than critical road repair works. Itu apa dia ho? Yes, dia ho. To align with the okay, to ensure that the tight grants for water and sanitation are not cannibalized by the popular but less critical road repair works. Okay. Water sanitation যাতে ভাল হয় মানে আগৰ কৰি ভাল হয় যাতে নষ্ট কৰিব নোৱাৰে আগৰ দিনে ৰাস্তাৰ আন্তঃগাঁথনি তাৰ কাৰণে অলপ পইচাটো হেৰি কৰা হয় গ্ৰেণ্ট 20% গ্ৰেণ্ট 20% কেপ ন The commission found that the roadworks were the easiest way to spend untied funds, often causing municipal bodies to neglect the tight but more complex requirements for water and sewage. The 20% cap is a firewall to protect essential service spending. Okay. With the recent patches of the Assam Uniform Civil Code Bill 2026, which of the following is the most accurate legal position regarding this scope. It places all existing personal laws for every no, it correct no. It grants the state government the power to override the six seal provisions if the government consents. No, it creates a dual track civil system that where tribal customer laws are explicitly preserved, regardless of their residence inside or outside autonomous districts. It mandates that all live-in relationships must be registered, or they are legally treated as void ab initio for inheritance purposes. এইটোতো হয় এইটো দ্বিতীয় কাৰেক্ট হ'ব না মিউনিচিপাল কোড ন দ্বিতীয় কাৰেক্ট হয় it grants the state power right 60 it creates a dual track civil system where tribal customary laws are explicitly preserved. D is the correct answer. Sorry. C is the correct answer. It creates a dual UGC আৰু মইতো কৈছো live in relationshipৰ কথা. It creates a dual track civil system. Tribal customary laws are explicitly preserved regardless of their residence inside or outside. So নাথাকক কিয় ট্ৰাইবেল পপুলেশ্যনবিলাক তাৰ সিহঁতৰ এইবিলাক কাষ্টমাৰী লছবিলাক প্ৰিজাৰ্ভ কৰি ৰাখিব blanket protection of tribal customary law unlike other states UCC it doesn't distinguish between hill and plain tribes including all state communities from the court's application to preserve the traditional governance. Under the mission, Senate launched June 2026 is the primary structure since aimed at Muga silk evolution. Direct nationalization of all Muga silk production centers. হয় নেকি CFC হ'ব কিন্তু nationalization বুলি কোৱাটো নাই so not correct I think. A cluster-based approach that integrates host plant cultivation, FPOs and digital traceability to eliminate the value gap. Itu হ'ব banning the export of muga that is converting all Suwalkusi weavers into government salaried B. Yes. Government salary দিব বোলে Suwalkusiৰ weaver বিলাকক commission sanitary focuses under monetization of the sector by using a cluster-based approach and FPO এটো কি আছে FPO আছে মানে কিবা আছিলে it aims to ensure the benefits reach the wearers and waivers rather than just a middleman. Regarding the Supreme Court's Save Life Foundation versus Union of India, May 2026 judgment, which of the following is a direct mandate for state governments? States must create a state-level trauma fund financed via road safety says on fuel. No. Integration of all disparate emergency helpline into a unified 112 system within 3 months. A mandatory installation of air-driven traffic enforcement cameras on national highways. I don't know any. Establishing an independent goods and writing commission to BA হবে নাকি 100 101 108 BA হবে BA correct hold the court ordered the integration of all emergency numbers into the national 112 system as a part of the mandate to operationalize the fundamental right to trauma care. That is 100 101 and 108. 100 101 108 itu 112 বনাই দিছে okay at নটাহে হয় the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin or PBG Ramji Act 2025 effectively July 2026 effective হ'ব বোলে শুই আছে বোধহয় নাগাৰা কাম আমি নাগাৰা কাম বুলি কওঁ MG Andrega Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission. Document number 44. It increases the wage guarantee to 125 days and guaranteed নহয় to and shifts the focus to Viksit Bharat National Rural Infrastructure State. Guaranteed নহয় দেই এইটো guarantee বুলি দিছে না wage guarantee বুলি এইটো কি দিছে নামটোৱে guarantee ন Viksit Bharat Guarantee to Rozgar হ'ব পাৰে কাৰেক্ট কিন্তু guarantee নাই বুলিহে শুনিছোঁ মই নতুনটো It moves from a demand-driven model to a supply-driven model with a state-determined liability. It establishes the 90 to 10% fund of northeastern states. Northern state or MG to 90 to 10% হয় এইটো correct হবে It restricts employment to only special works for this term. D2 নহয় B2 নহয় ANC হোৱাৰ চান্স আছে এইটো কেনেকুৱা আনসাৰ দিছে যেটো এইটো এটাহে বিচাৰিছোঁ মানে ন Voice guarantees to interrupt the ships to because Viksit Bharat National Infrastructure State. Okay, মই দিলোঁ হেতেন ন এটা যদি আনসাৰ লাগে ফান্ডিংটো যিয়ে নহওক ফান্ডিং হয় না নহয় এবলিছ কৰিছে এবলিছ কৰা বুলি কৈছে কাটি দিছে বুলি কৈছে মানে না কৰিছে এইটো নহয় 1090 to 10 হ'ব নৰ্থ ষ্টেট ন জুলাই 1 জুলাইৰ পৰা এফেক্টিভ হ'ব বৰ্তমানটো কি চলি আছে জুলাই আহি আছে replaces it with an infrastructure focused productivity oriented 125 days wage guarantee okay আগতে 100 days আছিল এবাৰ 125 Under that 16 finance commissions an urbanized premium grant 10,000 crore state qualifies for funds only if it under the 16th Finance Commission Urbanization Premium Grant 10,000 crore Urbanization Premium Grant funds only if it increases its urban population density by 10% within 3 years. But population increase korilehe pabo neki kai hoise merges all peri-urban villages into the municipal body and enacts a rural to urban transition. Itoi hobo policy. Prioritize at least 50% of municipal water to the city. Itu biye hobo. Itu urban transfer kora hai no. Merges all periphery urban villages into the municipal body. Rural to urban transition policy. Okay. Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission. Gramin. That is Gramin. Okay. PBG Ramji. PBG Ramji. PBG Ramji Act 2025. Which of the following mechanisms is used to measure the productivity index of labor? Direct observation via Gram Rozgar. Sahayak using a centralized mobile app. Mobile app ব্যবহার করছে নাকি নাকি কোনা integration of the National Geospatial Data Management System to verify physical asset creating in real time. Self-reporting by the village council subject to a retrospective social audit. Third-party assessment by an empaneled private consultant firm for every worksite. Dito no hai. Self-reporting by the village council subject to a retrospective social audit. Self-reporting don't know by the village council. Pare village council no. Village council integration of the National Geospatial Data Management System to verify physical asset creation in real time. To B, yes. B is the correct answer. GS National National Geospatial Data Management. মানে কি ক'ব তাক কি পা কৈছিলে নহয় GSP নেকি okay যে নহওক the new act that is NJTMS to geofence worksites and verify the completion of assets linking labor output directly to geospatial evidence. Okay. Mapor জৰিয়তে কি ক'ব তাক geostationary নহয় চলা CSP ইউজ কৰি কেনে হেৰি কৰে চিনাকি ন ৰিয়েল ডাটা চাব কেনেকৈ বা ভাল নাজানো ভালকৈ মই এইটো Section Finance Commission 626 to 31. It is a fiscal correction factor for states, which is specifically triggered when the state's fiscal deficit exceeds 3.5% of its GSDP for 2 consecutive years. The state's nominal GSDP growth rate divides above the national average by more than 2 percentage points. The state fails to submit a report of the state's Financial Commission to the Union Finance Commission. The state's public debt to GSDP ratio exceeds the threshold prescribed by that state. The fiscal correction factor. More BA was in Lagias in to rebate from the national average by more than BO. The fiscal correction factor is designed to address divergence in state level growth if state's growth divides significantly from the national average. The Commission applies a weighting correction to ensure that stagnant states do not receive an outsized share of growth-based incentives. Under the Assam UGC Bill 2026 Living Registration requirement has a specific provision for de facto spousal recognition. What does this entail? After 5 years of cohabitation, the couple is automatically granted the status of married under the Hindu Marriage Act. I don't know. After 12 months of registration, the couple gains right to domestic violation. Rights to domestic violence protection and maintenance, but not automatic inheritance rights. It will support the legal adoption of children with the life living relationship. Uh-huh. It converts the living status into a civil contract that is exempt from the state's stamp duty. Ito C&D no. Uh, registration that is requirement has a specific provision for de facto spousal recognition. Spousal recognition কেতিয়া হয়? হ'ব তেতিয়াহ'লে 5 years of cohabitation. The couple is automatically granted the status of married under the Hindu Marriage Act. 12 months of recognition. The couple grants rights to demonstrate violence, protection, and maintenance by the. তো হ'ব বিয়ে কৰি দিলে এনচাৰটো 5 বছৰৰ হিন্দু ৰাইটছ এক্ট হিন্দু মেৰেজ এক্টত আছে নেকি নাই তাৰমানে 12 বছৰহে 12 মাহ Crucial trial, there is a trial, the restoration of civil contract for Shaput and safety maintenance protection, but explicitly separates it from the full package of marital inheritance, marital inheritance rights, which are full package that is separate the marital inheritance rights, which are reserved for registered marriages. After 12 months of registration, the registration হোৱাৰ পিছত 12 মাহৰ পিছতহে registration হৈছে 12 মাহ couple gains rights to domestic violence protection and maintenance, but not automatic inheritance rights. Domestic violence protection and maintenance right by আর কি register হওয়ার পিছত couple কিন্তু automatic inheritance right নাপায় তথাপিও that is support and safety especially separated from the full package of marital inheritance rights. Register live-in relation মানে registry হলেও automatic inheritance right নাপায় কিন্তু ভায়োলেন্সৰ হেৰিবিলাক মেইনটেনেন্স কৰিবৰ কাৰণে পায় আৰু কি কিবা হাইকাজিয়া হয় কিবা হয় protection right পায় The Supreme Court's May 2026 directive on hospital grading for trauma care breakers states to categorize facilities into level 1, level 2, level 3, which criterion defines level 1. Supreme Court's May 2026 of hospital grading as no trauma care ক্ষেত্ৰত trauma register কোনটো level 1 পায় বোলে level 1 level 2 level 3 কোনটো level 1 ability of 24/7 dedicated trauma surgeon and immediate access to CT MRI imaging but to perform multi-specialty surgery within 60 minutes of patient arrival. Comprehensive capability for complex multi-system trauma, including neurosurgery and vascular surgery on 24/7 basis. Mandatory presence C হ'ব C দি দিওঁ yes C টো হৈ গ'ল ক'লে হ'ল নহ'লে নহয় বুলি দি দিলোঁ হৈ গ'ল comprehensive capability for complex multi-system trauma, including neurosurgery and vascular surgery on 24/7 basis. Level 1 is the highest designation. Okay, this is highest designation. Okay, 2 and 3 is the lowest designation of trauma care hospital. Requiring full scope surgical and specialty care, neurosurgery, vascular surgery, available at all times. Level 2 and 3 have progressively lower requirements. Missions and Azure Zone 2026 will utilize a blockchain-based traceability system for Muga Shilk. Yeah, how does it handle the aggregator or middleman issue? By mandate, all aggregators must be registered as government verified facilitators with a cap on their commission margin. It allows rivers to bypass middlemen by connecting them directly to the sanitary digital exchange, where price discovery is driven by global buyers and forces a minimum supply price that is paid to the reserve bank account. The rate creators role redundant. It creates a state-owned cooperative that buys 100% of produce at a set market level. B and A and B aggregators, all aggregators must be registered and government verified facilitators with a cap on their commission margin. How it handles question no handle aggregator margin issue allows access bypass middleman to B হব handle কৰাৰ কথাই কৈছে it allows wearers to bypass middlemen by connecting them directly to the sanitary digital exchange no sanitary digital exchange at APSC কিজানি where price discovery is driven by global buyers okay discovery মানে গ্লোবেল বায়াৰ মানে বাহিৰৰ কেনেকৈ প্ৰাইচ চলি আছে কেনেকৈ কিনে এইবিলাক গম পায় ন The sanitary digital exchange is the mechanism used to achieve price transparency কেনেকৈ গম পায় ন দাম কিমান ক'ত বেচাল ক'ত কি By decentralizing the marketplace, the mission allows the producer to participate in price discovery, affecting producer no বানাই হেৰিয়াৰ কৰে price discovery effectively avoid the power of intermediaries intermediaries বেছি কৰি দাম হেৰি কৰে খায় পইচা খায় সেইবিলাক হেৰি কৰে আৰু ন নিৰ্মূল কৰে 50টা কুৱেশ্যন কৰিবৰ কাৰণে মোক 2 ঘণ্টা সময় লাগিল আৰু এক্সাম হলত পাওঁ আমি 2 ঘণ্টা মাত্ৰ মানে এনালাইজ কৰাৰ কাৰণে সময়টো বেছি লাগি গ'ল না আৰু নিজৰ মতে কৰা নাই না সব বস্তু মই অলপ বকি আছোঁ ওকে এবাৰে অলপ স্পীডত যাব চেষ্টা কৰিম দেই বাকি ইমান ইৰেলেভেণ্ট হেৰিবিলাক নপঢ়িম Consider the following statements regarding governor of state okay The governor can reserve a bill passed by the state legislature of the yes The governor is bound to by the advice of the council of ministers while reserving a bill for the president bound no any I don't think bound is correct The governor can return a money bill for reconsideration by the legislature 1 and 3 only 1 and 3 only money bill return koro par nore at 1 and 3 nine option so what will I go for only 1A yes only one okay মানে গভৰ্ণৰে ৰিজাৰ্ভ কৰিব পাৰে এইটোৱে কাৰক হ'ল মানে এইটো ফুল হ'ল ৰেচন বিলছ ইনভলভছ গভৰ্ণমেণ্টছ ডিছক্ৰিপশ্যন অফ গভৰ্ণমেণ্টটো বাউণ্ড নহয় নিজৰ ওন ডিছক্ৰিপশ্যনত পাৰে আৰু মানি বিল কেনট বি ৰিটাৰ্ণ মানি বিল ৰিটাৰ্ণ কৰিব নোৱাৰে গভৰ্ণৰে ফৰ ৰিকনষ্ট্ৰাকশ্যন অ'কে ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ডিউটিছ দে আৰ এনফৰ্চেবল বাই কোৰ্টছ য়েছ ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ডিউটি হয় ডিউটি নোৱাৰে চ' ইয়াতে 1টো নিগেটিভ হ'লে বাকী দুটা কাৰেক্ট হ'ব ন বাকী 2 and 3 okay 3টো কি আছে পাৰ্লিয়ামেণ্ট কেন মেক লছ টু এনফৰ্চ দেম কেতিয়াবা পাৰে yes Parliament can make laws to enforce them 2 and 3 I will go for 2 and 3B yes and it enforceable নহয় না non justiciable taxes are not shared with states under article 270 of the constitution 270 271 271 to আমাৰ হেৰি হয় it is surcharge on income tax corporation tax cess of specific purposes which the following texts are not shared with the shared with states under Article 170. 70 Sidol tribe বিলাক থাকে নেকি? Sidol tribe except মানে যেটো North Eastern. So which cannot be shared, no? Searchers on income tax, corporation tax, says for specific purposes. Take yes, only one day. I say 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 1 and 3. I will go for B. Yes, B correct hole. একো নাজানো বাছ মই কানা মনে টোক্কা মাৰিছোঁ searchers on income tax says for specific purposes. টেক্সটবিলাক শ্বেয়াৰ নকৰে ন not shared with okay. Charters and cesses are retained by the union. Only corporation tax forms of the usual pool corporation tax the following peers committee purpose public accounts committee examines cake reports, examine budget estimates, examines PSUs. PSUs estimates account examines cake report. So one to কি কৈছে which correctly matched or public accounts committee to নহয় নেকি estimates committee examines budget estimates. Yes, committee on public undertaking examines PSUs. Yes, public accounts committee. All are correct. I will go D. Yes, D. Regarding the Indian monsoon, the Tibetan plateau acts as an elevated heat source during summer. Tibet কেনেকৈ heat source হ'ব? Heat source নহয়. Acts as an elevated heat source নহয়. সেইটো নহয়. তো ঠাণ্ডাহে হয়. The masculine high influences the strength of the southwest monsoon. Masculine high influences the strength of the southwest monsoon. Masculine high, I don't know any. El Nino generally strengthens the Indian monsoon. El Nino, La Nino. Yes, El Nino to correct হয়. এতে কি কৈছে 1 to নহয় El Nino to correct হয় বাকি এতে কি আছে measurements are correct only 3 নাই না so 2 and 3 হ'ব B. Oh 3 to নহয় ভুল হৈ গ'ল মোৰ কেনেকৈ বা ভুল হ'ল নাজানো. Tibetan plateau contributes to low pressure. এটা কি কৈছে Tibetan plateau acts as an elevated heat source during summer. বুজি পোৱা নাই হিটৰ এটা উৎস হৈ পৰে নেকি summer. Tibetan plateau contributes to low pressure. Heat হ'লেতো তাত হাই প্ৰেছাৰহে হ'ব লাগে ন হাই অলপ কনফিউজ লাগি আছে মোৰ. Masculine high drives across equatorial flow. El Nino uses weekends in the monsoon. এটা কি আছিলে 1 and 2 only. El Nino strengthens the Indian monsoon. El Nino, La Nina. El Nino, La Nina. El Nino গৰম কৰে La Nina হে strengthen কৰে monsoon. এটা ভুল হ'ল 3 to নহয় correct. El Nino, La Nina. El Nino গৰম কৰে La Nina. El Nino weekends Indian monsoon. Yes, মোৰ এইটো ভুল হ'ল দে ভাই 3 to মই জানিব লাগিছিলে জানিছিলোঁ পাহৰি থাকিলোঁ অলপ ভুল হ'ল. In India ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ originates in India নহয় বৰাকটো Indian origin নহয় তিষ্টা originates নহয় এটা মাত্ৰ only 2 that is A. only two কেনেকৈ A হ'ল only 2 B হে হয় ইয়াতে এ হয় ন হা হুইচ অফ দ্য ফলোইং ৰিভাৰ্ছ অৰিজিনেট ইন ইণ্ডিয়া ইণ্ডিয়াতে সৃষ্টি হয় বোলে তিষ্টা আৰু ক'ত তিষ্টাটো ছিকিমত হয় তিষ্টা ছিকিমত হয় ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ অৰিজিনেট ইন তিব্বত বৰাক মণিপুৰ তিষ্টা ছিকিম ভুল হ'ল মোৰ অলপ ভালকৈ নাছিলোঁ তিষ্টাটা মই মানে ছিকিমত হোৱাটো মই ইমান ভালদৰে হেৰি কৰা নাছিলোঁ জানো মই ছিকিমত হয় বুলি species classified as critically endangered is necessarily on the verge of extinction in the wild. Yes, all species listed in critically endangered necessarily on the verge of extinction. Itu necessarily dise. All species listed in Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act enjoys the highest level of protection. All species listed in Schedule 1 Wildlife Sanctuary. Oh, Wildlife Protection Act, no? Yes, 2 is correct. A species can be endemic and endangered simultaneously. Endemic ho pare, endangered ho pare. Yes, 2 and 3 correct hobo. 2 and 3. 2 and 3B. Ate generally gusi no? Generally te full hole. Inflation. Cost push inflation can occur due to a rise in crude oil prices. Cost push. Demand pull inflation necessarily. Ito full hobo core inflation excludes food and yes 1 and 3 A. But Assam Kaziranga National Park is UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yes. Manas National Park is for the tiger reserve. Yes. Tiger reserve and the biosphere. Yes. Manas National Park is a biosphere reserve. Manas biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserve. Why? Tibursika National Park is famous for feral horses. Yes. All are correct. D. Yes. Battle of Saraighat. It was fought in 1671. Yes. The Ahom forces were led by Lasit Borboukon. Yes. Mughal forces were defeated primarily in a naval engagement on the Brahmaputra. Primarily this naval in a naval engagement. Yes. Naval engagement hote primarily asolot ne no. Defeated. To ki hote? Mughal forces were defeated primarily in a naval engagement on the Brahmaputra. Khali naval matro hone land to hoisile naval to hoisile. So I think 1 and 2 only A. Gote kete correct hol. Tat chala primarily more full hol. Alop mano honde hoy na. Decisive engagement occurred on the Brahmaputra is regarded as one of the greatest river pollution. Okay. It gives some questions try to portray it as a purely land battle. Oh, land battle hansne hoy na, land battle no hoy naval hoy. Regarding one nation, one election, simultaneous elections would require constitutional amendments. The term of all state legislation assemblies can be extended indefinitely through ordinary legislation to synchronize elections. One nation, one simultaneous elections would require constitutional amendments. The term of all state legislative assemblies can be extended indefinitely through ordinary legislation to synchronize elections. constitutional provisions relating to dissolution of Lok Sabha may require modification. At the one nation, one election or to simultaneous elections would require constitutional amendment. To key the term of all state legislative assemblies can be extended indefinitely through ordinary legislation to synchronize elections. Yes, constitutional provisions relating to dissolution of Lok Sabha may require modification. Yes, 2 and 3. 2 and 3. 2 and 3. 2 and 3C. 1 and 3 has left. All state assemblies can be extended indefinitely. Okay, so simultaneous elections would require constitutional amendments. Constitutional provisions relating to dissolution of Lok Sabha may require modifications. Regarding semiconductor ecosystem in India, semiconductor fabrication and semiconductor packaging are identical processes. No, identical no. To India has emphasized OSAT and ATMP. Semiconductor manufacturing facility requires ultra pure water and uninterrupted water supply. Yes, 2 and 3. 2 and 3, that is A. Green hydrogen. It is produced using electrolysis powered by renewable energy. Yes. It emits carbon dioxide during production. No. It can be used in fertilizer manufacturing. Yes, 1 and 3. Green hydrogen can be used in fertilizer manufacturing. Fertilizer. Yes, Pareto. B. Yes. Green hydrogen use OM. In the following statements regarding deepfake technology. Deepfakes are generated using artificial intelligence techniques. Generated using artificial intelligence techniques. Yes. Deepfakes can involve both audio and video manipulation. Yes. Existing laws in India provide absolute no remedy against harmful deepfakes. No. 1 and 2 only. A. Yes. About Arctic now. The Arctic is warming faster than the global average. Warming faster. Arcticটো আগত বেছি গৰম হৈ আছে নেকি বেছি জোৰকৈ ন এইটোতো হ'ব নোৱাৰে মেল্টিং আৰ্কটিক আইচ কণ্ট্ৰিবিউটছ ডাইৰেক্টলি টু সি লেভেল ৰাইজ ন এইটো নহয় টুটোতো একেবাৰে নহয় লছ অফ আৰ্কটিক সি আইচ কেন ইনফ্লুৱেঞ্চ য়েছ 1টো নহয় ইয়াতে 1 and 3 বি হ'ব তেতিয়াহ'লে কাৰণ এইটো বস্তুটো টুটোতো একেবাৰে নহয় আৰ্কটিক ইজ ৱাৰ্মিং ফাষ্টাৰ দেন দ্য গ্ল'বেল এভাৰেজ আৰ্কটিকটো বেছি সোনকালে মানে গলি আছে বোলে গ্ল'বেল এভাৰেজটো বাপৰে বহুত ডেঞ্জাৰ হৈছে ন নাম্বাৰছ অফ দ্য কোৱাড ইণ্ডিয়া হয় জাপান হয় চাউথ কোৰিয়া অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়া ইণ্ডিয়া জাপান অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়া হয় চাউথ কোৰিয়া নহয় always of the following are all members of the Quad. Quad to USA আছে ইণ্ডিয়া আছে জাপান আছে চাইনা চাইনা আছে তো আৰু ইণ্ডিয়া সো মেম্বাৰ্ছ কৈছে না 1 and 2 হ'ব 1 and 2 1 and 2 nahi hai so 1 2 and 4 1 2 and 4 a Australia hoy Quad no okay এদিকে কি আছে ইণ্ডিয়া জাপান অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়া ইউনাইটেড ষ্টেট মই চাইনা থকা নিচিনা পাইছিলোঁ অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়া আৰু ইউ এছ এ চাৰিটা আছে ন অপেন এডেড স্মল মডুলাৰ reactors SMR small modular reactors small modular reactors are nuclear reactors with lower power output than conventional large reactors yes are designed to be entirely free from nuclear waste generation. No, it no. Modular manufacturing is one of their proposed advantages. Yes, 1 and 3. 1 and 3, that is A. Carbon capture, utilization, and storage aims to reduce atmospheric carbon emissions. Carbon capture, utilization, and storage. Yes, captured carbon dioxide can be utilized industrially. Captured carbon dioxide, of course, pare. CCUs completely eliminates the need for renewable energy. Itu নহয় one and two only. A আৰু easy statement গিলা আহি আছে নেকি আগৰ নিচিনা space sector reforms consider the following private companies are permitted to participate in space activities yes in space functions as a facilitator and regulator for private participation in space functions as facilitator and হ'ব পাৰে all satellite launchers in India must be carried out exclusively by ISRO no one and two only yeah. Regarding India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, IMEC, no. It seeks to improve connectivity through ports, railways, and logistics infrastructure. Railways, so as it, ports, port to him, railway to Hobolagito. It aims to enhance trade connectivity between India, West Asia, and Europe. Yes, it is military alliance. No. It is not military alliance. One and two only. That is B. Okay, come on, সোনকালে শেষ কৰিব লাগে money bill is a financial bill every money bill is a financial bill হ'ব লাগে every financial bill is a money bill every financial bill এটো কি কথা কৈছে every money bill financial bill every financial bill এটো তো নহব a financial bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha এটো 1 to full 3 to full আছে 3 to full আছে so only one নহলে বা 1 and 2 1 and 2 nahi hai so only one B oh sorry 1 and 3 1 and 3 correct hol ke nahi 3 to correct financial bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha money bill so 2 to nahi every financial bill is not a money bill financial bill bilak bele hobo pare no every money bill is a financial bill ito hoy the financial bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha not money bill na money bill ta financial bill koy no every money bill is a type of financial bill every financial bill is not a money bill financial bill that is category A under article 1171 can be introduced in Lok Sabha only when can this incorrectly generalize all financial bills okay regarding interstate council it is a constitutional body interstate council constitutional body hoito it was established under article 263 yes the president is bound to establish it whenever two or more states demand the president is bound to নহয় so এটা কি বিচাৰিছে 1 and 2 হ'ব 1 and 2 হ'ব oh 2 only interstate council state constitutional হেৰি নহয় না মানে বডি নহয় ন it was established in under article 263 okay so B only no to follow call 263 interstate council council বুলি ক'লে মানে ফান্ডামেন্ট হেৰি নহয় statutory bill নহয় it's not a permanent constitutional body automatically established by the constitution creation is discretionary if public interest requires okay presence in constitution doesn't mean constitutional body in the same sense as ECI Election Commission of India and CAC okay a constitutional amendment under article 360 it always require president's assent always DC hoy na nohoy the president cannot return a constitutional amendment bill for reconsideration Governor noare, President noare kijaneba. The President can exercise pocket veto on constitutional amendment bill. 2 and 3 hobo. 2 and 3. 2 and 3 9. 1 to 3. 1 2. Itu halke nasano the constitutional amendment under article always recur 2 and 3 or 9. Then cannot return a constitutional amendment bill for reconsideration. 2 to correct all janeba. It is 2 a correct A only B. Sala 1 and 2 a correct all. Mane a constitutional amendment under article 3 always recurs president holder like no amendment over karne. The president cannot return a constitutional amendment bill for reconsideration. Okay. 2 to correct 1 correct asile. Which of the following was not included regulation of India's GDP at market price? Transfer payments. Transfer payments. Sale of second-hand goods. Value of intermediate goods. Etu value of intermediate goods to nalage. 3 to nalage 1 and 2 hobo. 1 and 2 1 only na. Ki kuise not included in the calculation of GDP and market price. Value of intermediate goods, that is 3 only to 9 na 1 and 3 hobo. 3 to na lage to 2 and 3 hobo na 2 hole are not all included in the calculation of GDP and market price. Second hand goods kilo not hore niki. Okay, 2 and 3 holo 2 and 3, that is B. All Chala full হৈ গ'ল মোৰ চবে মানে ডাউটফুল আছিলে অল তাত চালা second hand down নহয় কাৰণে instruments regarding Attorney General of India, he must possess qualifications required for appointment as a Supreme Court judge. Attorney General of India, he must possess qualifications required for appointment as a Supreme Court judge. Possess qualifications required for appointment as a Supreme Court judge. Oh, I must possess qualifications required for appointment as a Supreme Court of Judge. No, Supreme Court judge no. Ene judge hai, jikono judge, Supreme Court judge. Oh, appointment as a Supreme Court judge. Yes, this is correct. He has the right to participate in parliamentary proceedings. Yes, he has the right to vote in parliament. No, 1 and 2 only. A. If the repo rate rises, borrowing costs for commercial banks generally increase. Borrowing costs commercial banks generally increase. Yes, reserve repo is the rate at which RBI borrows from banks. Yes, a rise in reserve repo necessarily reduce inflation. No, 1 and 2 only. Yeah. Regarding biodiversity hotspots, all biodiversity hotspots contain tropical rainforests. That no. A hotspot must have high endemism. Yes. A hotspot must have lost a substantial. Yes, 2 and 3. 2 and 3A. A decrease in the cash reserve ratio increases in the lending capacity of banks. A decrease in cash reserve ratio increases the lending capacity of. No. Open market sale of government securities by RBI tends to reduce liquidity. Open market sale of government securities by RBI tends to reduce liquidity. No. So, statutory liquidity ratio funds are maintained. Liquidity ratio funds. 3 correct hobo lage no. Ito ki bisa correct henega tono hobo no. So, open market sale of securities by RBI tends to reduce liquidity. Market sale of government securities. So increases lending capacity of banks. 1 and 3. 1 and 3 no hoy. 3 code say 3 to liquidity funds are maintained by the. Okay, 3 to correct holes na ba? 2 and 3. 2 and 3 hobo B. B hobo. A hole. 3 to no hoy. 3 to full to mane. A decrease in cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio will decrease or increases the lending capacity of banks. Lending 30 pare no. Open market sale of government services securities by RBI tends to reduce liquidity. Currently. Okay. Statutory liquidity ratio funds are maintained, not maintained. Statutory liquidity ratio funds are maintained by banks themselves and specific liquidity sets. Okay. CRR and SLR. About Indian Constitution, the term secular was inserted by the 42nd Amendment. Inserted secular, yes. Socialist, secular, integrity. 42nd Amendment dot kesile. Socialist, secular, and integrity. Yes, the socialist was inserted by the 42nd Amendment. Yes, the term republic. No, so 2, 3 is not correct. 1 and 2. Yeah, correct. The vice president is elected by members of both House of Parliament. Both House of Parliament vice president is elected by members of both houses of Parliament. Nominated members can vote in the vice presidential election. Yes. State legislative assemblies participate in the election of. No. Ito vice president heru korbar karone mane ki kobo tak impeachment korbar karone state election or to heru pare. So 1 and 2 only. A. Yes. A law declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court becomes void ab initio. A law declared unconstitutional by Supreme Court becomes yes. Parliament can override any Supreme Court judgment through ordinary legislation. No, it is not. So 2 to kata jai 3 only hobo pare nole 1 and 3 only. Okay. 3 to jenba correct dhorilu jenba sobo nalage doctrine sobo dokar nai karon a law declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court becomes void. Supreme Court. 1 and 3 hobo B. Yes. Regarding ordinances, and ordinances can be promulgated only when both houses of Parliament are not in session. Ito hoy niki once na lagi ase eneke kiba eta. An ordinance can be promulgated only when both houses of Parliament are not in session. An ordinance has the same force and effect as an act of Parliament. Ito to no hoy na. The satisfaction of the President is promulgating an ordinance is completely beyond judicial. It was correct question. No, it बहुत मने पोते कटा है मने 1 2 correct होबो लगे मुक correction लगे. An ordinance can be promulgated only when both houses of parliament are not in session. An ordinance has the same force act of parliament to hobo noare 1 to correct whole 1 and 3 to 9 so 1 to correct no that is the citizen of the president is promulgating an ordinance is completely beyond judicial review. It no 3 to completely full. So 2 or 1 and 2 only. Okay, B with the B. Oh, 2 only. A2 no A2 full say. Okay, ordinance can be promulgated only when the B2 full as an ordinance has the same force and effect as an act of parliament. Okay. Only one house being in session may prevent ordinance making if parliament is considered in session. The constitutional requirement is that parliament is not in session. Only one house being in session may prevent ordinance making if parliament is considered in session. The constitutional requirement is that parliament is not in session. Okay. The constitution explicitly uses the expression doctrine of basic structure. The Supreme Court evolved the basic structure doctrine through judicial interpretation. Yes. Parliament's amending power is unlimited under Article 368. 2 and 3 over. 2 and 3 over, correct. Only 2. Yes, only 2A. Unlimited to hobo na. A constitutional amendment bill can be introduced in either house. Yes. A constitutional amendment bill requires prior recommendation of the president. Constitutional amendment. Yes. And there is no provision for a joint sitting in case of disagreement between the two houses on constitutional amendment bill. In case of disagreement. Yes, all are correct. Constitutional amendment bill requires prior. Itu bit tu hoina nohai najano. Constitutional amendment bill requires prior recommendation of the president. All are correct. I will go for D. Two to no prior mane agor na lage. Constitutional amendment bill doesn't require prior recommendation of the president. Amendments regarding parliamentary sovereignty in India. Parliament can make any law whatsoever. Any law whatsoever? No. Parliament's lawmaking power is subject to judicial review. Parliament's legislative competence is limited by federal contribution of the law. 2 and 3. A. The fiscal deficit includes interest payments. Fiscal deficit, interest payments. Interest payments. Fiscal deficit. Primary deficit equals fiscal deficit minus interest. I don't know. A country can have zero primary deficit while still having a fiscal deficit. Yes, 1 and 3. C. Hole no hole nai. Der gote keta correct hoy. D bole. So bhol hoite gole. Estimates money multiplier. An increase in the cash reserve ratio tends to reduce the money multiplier. No. Money multiplier depends partly on public preference for holding cash. The money multiplier is determined by 1 and 2 A. Every endemic species is geographically restricted. No. Every biogeographically restricted species is endemic. No. Every endemic species is geographically restricted. Every geographically restricted species is, I don't know. An endemic species may become invasive. if introduced elsewhere. Ayo, etu kenaka statement disu oi. 3 to jeniba correct hol. Aru baki duta. D did you hole no A only, one entry only. Okay, full hole. Every geographically restricted species is endemic no. Endemic species is geographically restricted. Okay, ঠিক আছে. Regarding atmosphere, most weather phenomena occur in troposphere. Yes, troposphere generally increases with altitude throughout the atmosphere. Temperature generally increases with altitude throughout the atmosphere. Temperature generally increases. Chala kumi hai jai. Ozone layer is concentrated in the troposphere. Yes, 1 and 3. That is A. An increase in bond yields generally implies a fall in bond prices. Government securities are free from interest rate risk. Long duration bonds are usually more sensitive to interest rate changes than short-duration bonds. More sensitive. An increase in bond yields generally implies a fall in bond prices. No. So 2 and 3 correct hobo de. C did so. Eta A hol hui, but 1 and 3 correct no. Government securities are most risk free no hai. Risk free no hai. Well, if Parliament answer ho like dekha na into answer to me bhalke. If Parliament legislature on a state law subject under Article 249, the law state law automatically becomes void. Ito full hobo lage under 29. 249 continues permanently unless repealed. A law made under Article continues permanently. Ito to 3 to no Parliament's power under Article depends on a Suna Rajya Sabha. 3 to correct hobo, so 3 only correct hobo, 3 only. A. Yes. Constitutional consolidated fund. All revenues received by the government of India from part of it. All revenues received by the government of India from part of it. All government borrowing forms part of it. Consolidated fund. Money can be withdrawn from it without parliamentary authorization in emergencies. Yes. 3 to correct hobo. 3 to correct hobo. So D hobo. 3 to full. So mane consolidated fund to all revenues received by the government of India part of it. All government borrowings part of it. Money can be withdrawn from it consolidated fund without parliamentary authorization in emergencies. No hai bole. Neutral requires parliamentary authorization. The President may require the Council of Ministers to reconsider its advice. May require the Council of Ministers to reconsider its advice. Yes. After reconsideration, the President must act according to the advice. This power applies equally to constitutional amendments bills after passage by Parliament. The power applies equally to constitutional amendment bills after passage. Take you with 1 and 3 hobo. Only one hobo C hobo. Ki hoise more constitutional after president must according to that president. Okay. সময় নাই এতিয়া যাব লাগে বলে ভাত দিব পথাৰত. Real GDP can increase even when nominal GDP decreases. real GDP can increase even when nominal GDP decreases. নাজানো দে মই nominal GDP can increase while real GDP remains unchanged. GDP deflator is used to distinguish between nominal and 2 and 3 over there. 2 and 3A. A constitutional body can never be abolished by parliament. No, every statutory body owes its existence to legislation. Every constitutional body enjoys greater autonomy than every statutory body. Yes, that is 2 and 3. Only 2 hobo, only 2A hobo. Yes. Karan sabor katon hobo na every question. The Constitution of India expressly provides for the doctrine of separation of powers. No. The Supreme Court has recognized separation of powers as part of basic structure. Yes. The Indian Constitution permits overlap of functions among the legislative. The Indian Constitution permits overlap functions. No, only 2 hobo. Indian Constitution permits overlap of functions among the overlap to no to complete only 2 asina nai only 2 nai so 2 and 3 hobo so no powers so 2 and 3 A hobo overlap hobo pare ar ki na the president can act only on the recommendation of governor. President can act only on the recommendation of governor. Only guse don't know hobo. Judicial review of a proclamation under Article 356 is permissible. Emergency judicial review proclamation under Article. If a proclamation is invalidated by the court, dismissed, state government may be revived. Yes, 2 and 3. And 98. Parliament may amend a fundamental right. Yes. Parliament may abridge a fundamental right through a constitutional amendment. Abridge a fundamental. Yes. Parliament may destroy the essential identity of a fundamental right through a constitutional amendment. No. 1 and 2 only. Parliament may abridge a fundamental right through a constitutional amendment. Abridge kora mane borai dia neki. Parliament may amend a constitutional right. Eto to hoy. To 1 hobo neki only 1 or 1 and 2 so bhul hoi gol. A decrease in inflation necessarily implies a decrease. Eto no hoy. Full definition that is so 1 2 and 3 hobo. Yes. Constitutional conventions are enforceable by courts. Yes. Conventions may influence constitutional functioning. Yes. Violation of constitutional convention always leads to constitutional invalidity. No. 1 and 2 only. That is B hobo. Full hole A asile only 2 hebole. Constitutional conventions may influence constitutional functioning. Okay. Constitutional conventions are enforceable. Constitutional conventions enforceable by court. Ito no. So keta kiman na marks palo moi to calculate korim. Joa kalit moi kiman paisilo 125. Aji kiman pao 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 মানে ভুল হৈছে so 71 কারেক্ট হ'ব 71 কারেক্ট হলে এটা 2 আৰু 14 29 হলে 66 so 4 হাতে প্লাস 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 1 7 4 4 at hate 4 11 1 7 8 9 1 19 number যাব 12 পৰা 9 গলে কিমান হয় 9 10 11 12 3 এতে কিমান থাকিলে 4 3 পৰা গলে 2 আজি 123 113 1 4 আছিলে ন এতিয়া কিমান হ'ব এতিয়া 6 এতিয়া ক'লে 9 9 পৰা ক'লে 8 9 পৰা ক'লে 8 হয় ন এতিয়া 11 এতিয়া 22 হয় 122 আছে 122 পাইছোঁ আজি 122 পইণ্ট সামথিং চ' বাই বাই see you tomorrow